looks like we are drunk with power and live.
Fuck me, that was hardcore, man. We're live. Welcome back, chat, to another salacious episode of Artie and Fist. Oh, it feels great. We thawed out, and sort of, have control over my limbs again. Mate, it just keeps getting worse, man. Right? You know what they're storing on my fucking brain now. What? Right, like just every single week, it seems like the contract changes. I'm basically like a freelance data storage node now, right?
Wait a minute. I thought we had a clearly defined contract, and so how is it? What freelance? How is the property that is your body and brain freelance for other people to? Oh, that's kind of how the Epstein thing happened, huh?
Yeah, well, it turns out I didn't read the contract closely enough, right? Like, Avi assured me, right, that it was all
good with history, okay? How are you not good with contracts? You can read.
Look, if you can't trust Avi Lieberman, right, I don't know who else you can trust, right? And he assured me that, it was all above board, and then, apparently, something in the contract, and, and so, Shmuley called me, Avi's brother, Shmuley called me, and he's like, you gotta basically rent your brain out for all comers now, so I'm basically like Bonnie Blue, except it's storing dodgy data on my brain instead
do you remember any of these files or anything like that, or is it just really just plugging you up?
Well, I was assured, right, that there would be no cross leakage. Is the technical term, memory leakage? But it turns out that whilst I am in a deep cryogenic sleep, which obviously I'm not supposed to dream during, I was also assured by that, bits of the data start sort of infiltrating themselves into my brain with these incredibly weird and vivid dreams. And so I can sort of kind of get some idea of what they're storing. And it looks like now it's a bunch of disclosure stuff, bro. Aliens, Project Blue Beams, right? The grays and the whites and the turquoise and the big heads and the small heads, and of course, everyone's most feared aliens, the medium heads. You gotta watch for the medium heads, mate. You know about all of this, presumably, Artie, right?
Yes, but I have a functional question right now, and I need you to answer honestly. Okay, it's just me and you right now. I need you to answer honestly. Now, you keep saying you were assured of things week after week, literally dozens of episodes at this point. Have you ever actually been assured after you've been told that you would be assured? Or are you always assured that something would happen, and afterwards you're like, well, I think they went back in their... Have you actually had any assurance thus far?
Look, I've had many assurances, right? Look, Avi has assured me many times, right?
Hold on, it's starting again.
He just wants the best for me, right? But things just keep going wrong. It's not his fault, right? Like, what do you think I am? Some kind of antiseptic? Well. So if you can't trust the word of Avi Lieberman, then who can you trust, mate? Right?
Well, it's not that he wants what's best for you. It's that we all need him. It's that we need them. Right?
Yeah.
Whether or not it's best for you, it's that the most important thing is that we need them.
And plus, right, after I, sort of was shipped to Israel and they showed me that weird black cube, I don't know, man. I just can't say no. Right? It's just a weird thing. Look, I'm sure it'll, all work out fine, man, right? It'll all come out in the wash.
You're doing this under your own volition, right? They're not coercing you to do this at all, right?
Yeah, but you gotta understand what really is someone's own volition. It's a very, very complicated question you're asking.
I love the idea that in this canon, the 20 lascivious adult films that you did, that's public knowledge. But imagining if what they have of you is even worse than that, which is you kissing the wall. And you're fine with the gay porn being out there, but this is all because they have to have a level of coercion on you.
Not just kissing the wall, mate, right? Rubbing up against it. I actually, had to do this film, Wall Sluts 9. It was very,
Oh no, giving and receiving.
It was they put a bunch of dildos on the wall. Oh god, yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that's where Shmuley comes into play, right?
Sorry?
Shmuley approved dildos.
Of course.
Kosher.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. They got like a product placement. It's very tender.
Humanely crafted, sacrificially produced dildos.
It was very tender product placement, actually.
Wow.
But yes, obviously, I live in eternal fear of Wall Sluts #9 coming out, right? So being released to a general audience. But I have been assured that as long as I keep on the straight and narrow, it'll be fine, right? Like fortunately, of course, it's just you and me talking. So it'd be a disaster if we were streaming at the moment and everybody could hear my secret wall shame.
Fist, based on what I know about you, I think you just have the narrow left.
The what? The narrow?
I think you just have the narrow left. Okay, based on the films you've done, I don't think that would say. I don't think you have both. I think you just have one of those at this point.
No. Actually, they're very very particular about that. You have to have both balls. But of course, they're much more strict about the circumcision thing.
You're the one that got yourself into this mess, and you told me it would be fine. By the way, okay, you told me it would be fine. Look, looking at what you're going through, and I'm not, not
one day, Artie, you too will be able to experience the mooish love deep in your most tender place.
Well, yeah, they'll assure me. They assured me every time with these guys.
No, it's fine. I have been assured that nothing worse is going to happen. But anyway, right? Like, so I'm asleep in my cryogenic fugue, right? As you know, right? That's basically how I spend my time in between shows, right? And I started hearing in my dream this voice, and it was like, I love aliens. I really love the aliens. We have the best aliens. Of all the aliens in the galaxy, they came and they talked to us because they love America. And they're not illegal aliens like that. They're going to bring us lots of different alien cuisine and so much money, so much business. It's gonna be fabulous. We're going to have weapons like you wouldn't believe. They even have a beam. A goy beam, they call it blue goy beam, that can change the minds of the populace so that they will always vote for me, Donald Trump, the best president that there ever was. And so imagine my shock when I wake up, I'm thawed out.
Yeah.
And Trump's coming out. He's talking about the blue beans, mate. He's talking about the aliens. He's like, look, he's saying that they exist. And look, I just want to say to the chat, okay, right? This is a totally real thing, right? It's not some kind of like psyop to convince people that Christianity isn't real.
All of the realest things that have ever been known are described as totally the realest thing.
Absolutely, right?
Extra real. When you're describing the objective truth from Christ, you're really positioning it as extra super duper true, because that's how true it is, right?
That's right. Like, just because like it promotes this idea that the universe is cold, unfeeling, mechanistic, right? That there's nothing special about our planet, right? And that like, God is like out there, like orbiting a black hole or something, right? I don't want anyone to think that this is some kind of like psyop to get people to abandon the church, right? Like, after all, right? If you really think about it, after a severe blow to the head, that God could be blessing many planets, right? Why is there anything special about Earth, right? We just really need to accept that we're just a little blue marble floating in infinite space, and there's nothing special about us at all.
Well, I like, we had like the blacks going crazy, and then there was the trans craze, and now we got the moos. They're really, really scared this time. And I just love how Obama and Trump team up for aliens to cover for that. We just can never talk about the issue.
Yeah, and well, look, again, this is another totally real thing that is like just like look,
It's super real.
disclosure.
Unbelievably real.
Disclosure is just around the corner, bros. Right?
It's almost
And
like how
this
the
has
left will say like literally a Nazi, and it's like, okay, so now you're admitting tacitly that all the other times you say it, you didn't literally mean it. This time, it's literally real. It's super unbelievably real.
super duper real, right? And I don't want to hear anyone in the chat saying that this has anything to do with the imminent war with Iran, right? What do you think? You seriously think that the US government, in order to distract the population from the fact that they're about to launch like a massive strike and like light the Middle East into entire flaming debris, yet
and listen,
again on behalf of Israel?
This has been on the internet for a long time, so he knows well and good that if he tells you to not do that, you're not going to do it. Gosh darn it, okay?
It's not a distraction. It's a really, really real thing. Absolutely real. The most realist thing. The aliens, they came to me and they said, President Trump, we love what you've done with this planet. It's excellent. We'd like to buy some of it. And I was like, yeah, of course. Everything is for sale. Just give us some of those blue beans. They have the best blue beans.
All right, I think we can get this party started.
Yeah, how you been? How you been, mate? You been all right?
How have I been? Well, I better get my complaining out now because Daddy's doing a horrific fast for Lent that starts on Monday. I'm eating my birthday dinner at a Japanese steakhouse on Sunday. My birthday's in a week, and so I'm going to be doing no calories until 10 p.m. And in between 10 p.m. and midnight, I get to eat as much non-carb food as I want, which is really just meat. And so I get to complain now. I'm not really supposed to complain during Lent, am I? About the fast, you know?
I don't know. I mean, is there like a rule that you can't complain about? I'm
That's
not
considered
aware.
sloth. That's considered sloth.
Is it?
Complaining. You're supposed to be enjoying the pain.
Happy Orthodox Lent, by the way, everyone, for Monday. Man, you're probably gonna like wind up doing more hardcore fasting than me.
Oh, like, I mean, yeah, it's a vicious fast. But it puts me. Here's the thing: when I was doing this fast, it was during COVID, so I'm gonna have a bunch of like repressed memories. It's gonna be crazy, dude. It's gonna bring me right back there. But I didn't have anyone to talk to. Like I couldn't control anything around me, but I knew I could starve myself. That I had control over. I had control over whether or not I ate, and it gave me a sense of power that I had control over that, and I was very grateful when I ate food. And then I had that cycle like every day, and so it was really good for my brain.
Like my anorexic ex-girlfriend.
I can't control anything in this world, so I'll just starve myself. Is that what you want, God?
Basically. But for some reason, the anorexic girls are never religious. You know, they're always just like, the world is meaningless. I can't control anything. Well, I can control what I eat.
Well, yeah, but they look in the mirror and they see something different. Or when I look in the mirror, I don't see anything. I'm like a vampire. I just don't see anything anymore. I've seen
you're like Richard Nixon.
Well, no, dude, I'm turning 40, but I look like 25. So I've looked like 22 for like 20 years now. Oh, so I just see the same guy. It's probably why I act like this. I assume that people have like started to look older when they look in the mirror. So like, time to wear this and act different. I never had that. I can't grow a beard and I sound like this. And I've always just seen the same guy in the mirror. So I've never had that issue. But I have had very like, I don't know. It's weird to say spiritual because I don't know what else to say, but I sound gay if I say spiritual. Experience is not eating.
I mean, there's spiritualism like.
I mean, I can't call myself a liberal and talk about being spiritual. I'm afforded one at a time, fist, okay? I can't do both. I can't do liberal spiritualism. I might as well be a secular humanist at that point.
Listen, man, right? Things are complicated.
Oh, we're gonna see how complicated they can really get.
Shall we do some super chats? Okay,
absolutely.
What have we got? Double Mumble for $2. I had to walk my fish. Can you redo the intro?
Why are our fellas like this? What makes you like this?
Why are you walking your fish? I hope you've got one of those, like, sort of inside out fish bowls, like with the legs on it, mate, right? Because otherwise you're just dragging your fish down the sidewalk. And that's just not like, good practice, mate.
I just love the hubris. Hey, sorry, you guys just woke up. Can you start that over? Just try that one again. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but that calls me.
Isaac for $2. Hey, Isaac, how you doing? The best intro ever. Don't forget to like and sub. Yeah, that was a pretty banging intro, man. I got to say, like, holy crap, man.
Oh yeah, the stream, it can't be monetized with that American History X footage. So the stream is there's no ads in this stream. I was like, it was just within me to make that intro. I had no control over it.
Limiting Principle podcast for $5. Hey, Patrick, how you doing, mate? Spring is coming. The death butterfly soon emerges from its cocoon. Yes. Indeed. Patrick's been doing sort of like Lindsay commentary. He is the death butterfly. Go check his stuff out. I haven't watched a ton, but what I have watched, I enjoyed. So
yeah, if you want some James Lindsay cringe, he is cultivating that cow very fastidiously.
I think he's back with like the cryptic. I notice every day and realize that auction house goes for $14.88. Oh, he must be playing Warcraft and trying to like bid on some like really sort of like rare item. Well, I hope your auction is successful, mate.
Hey, I don't want to brag, but my community is filled with gamers. Okay, hey, they know what's up.
Intelligent counterspell henchman.
That's a new one.
That's a new one for $2. You keep a 10-hour workday very entertaining.
That is what I like to hear. We know what it's like to work long hours and to need to listen to things.
Yeah, fucking like whatever job you're doing, man. Like best of luck. May your shift be sort of bereft of like massive idiots. I guess is probably the best blessing.
And
may your manager be like gentle upon you.
And may your HR be as non-gay as humanly possible.
Indeed. All the blessings. The new GM for $20. Oh my god. I got some new stickers for the thing. Bite my lip. Well, I'll have to do the accent. Bite my lip and butter me kipper. If it ain't Artie and Fist, assistant executive producer and leading man for Grizzly Elf Productions, AV and awarding winners for Bukake groundbreaking video series.
I wasn't going to brag or anything, but I would rather be the executive producer than the leading man. I'm glad he made that differentiation.
Thank you very much, UGM. Ardent party for 5 Canadian loonies. The US gets extraterrestrial revelations and Canada gets foreign soldiers fast track for citizenship. Tomorrow's show is going to be wild. Ardent, if you check my Twitter feed, I've been posting this quote from Machiavelli about like why you shouldn't use mercenaries. I think you might enjoy that for the show. It's from the Prince, and Machiavelli's like, what the fuck are you doing hiring mercenaries? Yeah. And check out Ardent Plays. Friend of the channel, mod extraordinaire, good dude.
Best mod in the game, fight me.
King Green Moon for 20 knock. Congratulations, Newsfist, on climbing that tower. Thank you very much, mate. I hit 1,000 subs. Oh yeah, we did that last episode, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Did we? Yes. Yeah, I got 1,000 subs. It's very, 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 very nice. I felt very accomplished. Deadpool Kid for $2. The aliens are coming out of a giant dreidel.
You don't know what they're hiding. That's what Trump was most mad about. It wasn't the alien thing. It was the method in which they were being delivered.
Is there such a thing as dreidel-nomics? Because right, like how what the dreidels actually like used for, right? It's like a money game, apparently, right? Like all the kids sit around and they get like a bunch of coins, and then depending on the dreidel throw, they have to like either receive or give like coins to like the other person.
Oh, so this is where the blacks learned craps from, is what you're telling me.
Yes. Modern Magus for $5. Thank you, mate. Yes, Artie, the liberal, spiritual, but not religious guy.
This is what I'm saying, dude. I don't have words to describe what I am, dude. I can't. It just sounds stupid, which is why probably I'll be doing Sunday streams as I can. Every Sunday I get to break the fast, so to speak. Every Sunday is the cheat day.
Well, I guess I gotta hop on there and just tell you the story of St. Christopher, and then I can like bounce off there. But I feel like you would enjoy that. Kilted Heathen for $10. Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I need the thing. Have a grooving cat girl. Glad I got you guys to keep the long drive down from Mass to Mass from Maine. Interesting.
That's
drive safe, man. May the traffic like be in your favor, like all that good stuff.
Long drives, long work days. We try to put it, we try and make you laugh. We try and make you think here at Artie and Fist,
Isaac again for another $2 with some like, oh fucking what the fuck is this?
Go ahead, go speed run. Go ahead.
I yawn bears, lizard crowns, lizards rule the earth.
Nice.
Save white flag.
Race. It's a race.
Oh yeah, save white race. Again with his auction house for $14.88. Butterfly is coming. Listen, man, I hope your auction house thing goes through, mate. Right? Like $14.88 is a lot to pay for something in World of Warcraft. So it must be a particularly like sought after item. Thank you, mate. Goy Fidel for 5 loonies. Thank you, mate. Please pray for successful vote yes for an independent Republic of Alberta. We need the prez. Yeah, mate, prez to you, Alberta bros. I hope you can detach from the horror that is. I hope you can detach from the horror that is modern Canada, sir. Fuck me. And
you've been working on your Canadian accent.
What is it? Welcome to Canada, eh?
yeah. Try to combine both. Good luck with that.
And incomprehensible schizobabble became a member.
Oh, bro, man. Plenty of stuff behind the paywall, mate, including me debating blacks and brigading a black person's stream that just happened. If you want to know what that means, well, now you're going to be able to find out in the last 2 videos.
Okay, super chat's over. Shall we move to our first?
Let's go.
Stupidity. Right. Wake up, babe. Project Bluebeam is about to drop. So this is literally from the White House. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects. God bless America. I mean, okay. It seems to me that this is what America is crying out for at the moment, right? Don't you agree, Artie? Right? Like this is the question of the moment, right? That is like seizing the American mind. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how I don't see I can disagree with that.
So this all kicked off after Obama dropped this on I don't know, some podcast that he was on. Enjoy.
Couple questions here. Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no.
Yeah, they're being kept in Area 52. Fucking everybody knows that. Fucking trying to dodge like that.
What do you think's a bigger conspiracy, aliens or that Obama is black? What do you think? We'll cover that later on.
He is a one-man race war inside his own mind.
I'm about to be a one-man race war with the whites and the blacks.
Facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
Oh, I believe him. Mate, I believe him. And then Trump came out, and when asked, he was like, he's been a naughty boy. He's leaking government secrets.
Something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it.
So
You believe it, Peter?
Well, if the president can declassify anything that he wants to,
Well,
so if you
maybe
want
I'll
to
get
make
him
an
out of trouble.
announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals.
So the volume was a little
Okay.
low on that. Could you recap that for the audience?
Yeah, so Trump's basically saying like, I don't know whether aliens exist or not. I never talk about it. He's such a fucking smooth dodger. He's basically saying that Obama shouldn't have said that he leaked classified information, and that's like bad. This stuff is like everywhere, all of a sudden, right? Like everybody's talking about the alien. I mean, I don't know, like not everybody. I mean,
Too many
think this-
people. Too many people.
It's a massive, massive freaking psyop, in my opinion, right? Remember Fist's law, right? The more political utility that you can get from any given piece of information, the less it should be trusted, right? If you start,
It's it's the most perverse incentive possible.
yeah, if you start looking at like stuff through that sort of lens, right? Like, what could I do politically with this piece of information, with this narrative, right? And the more utility it has, the more you should question it. You will go far, my son. This is Matt Gaetz of all people talking about it.
We've seen some patterns emerge that are absolutely a threat to national security, whether this is of human origin or not. Look, we have members of Congress who believe that not only are there extraterrestrials on Earth, but that they have built bases and that they are operating out of bases. I have personally met with people in uniform for the United States military who believe that there are hybrid breeding programs going on right now. Now, I've not seen evidence to suggest that all of those things are accurate, but when those claims arise, I get hot under the collar when we just don't get straight answers.
You got to have the sort of like pacey music under it,
Dude,
right?
I cannot care about aliens. I mean, this was hack when Joe Rogan was doing it in 2018, dude.
It's so free. It's just so gay. I just don't.
I've heard that other people have said that there's hybrid breeding now, I don't know that for a fact. I haven't seen it with my eyes, but I have heard the lovemaking sounds in the next room. Okay. And no confirmation.
We will have millions of beautiful alien babies. They're so beautiful. They have psychic powers. You wouldn't believe it. Yes, they do. I didn't believe it when they told me. And then I saw one of those babies pick up a fountain pen in the Oval Office with their mind. It was amazing. And I said to the Secretary of War, I said, can we use those psychic powers to nuke Iran? And they said, maybe. I said, get right on that. So now, so this is clearly fucking coordinated. Okay. Right. 2 days ago, Lara Trump comes out saying, the president has pre-written a speech to announce the discovery of alien life. Oh, fuck off. Right. How stupid do you think we are? Like,
They think we're very stupid. I mean, we can agree on that. They
guess.
don't respect us. Your enemies don't respect you. But you have to be a good Christian, so you have to let them do whatever they want, right? I think that's what you teach on Fistory. Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. UK time. I believe that's what you talk about.
That's exactly. You're absolutely right there, Artie. Yes, check out Fistory. I got a sexy new intro. Part 2 of the Mooish history of England is on there. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing this. Going through it. It's amazing, man. Mooish history is like really, really fascinating shit, right? But for some reason, being a Gentile, you're not supposed to, I don't know, right?
Yeah, are you sure you don't want to cover the old, stab and grape in the UK every day? You sure you don't want to cover that? Go back to your old content. Whatever happened to old Newsfist, right? You're Newsfist for a reason.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't, right? There's only so many times you can like see oh my God, did you see this fucking woman, like not in London, they're shipping them to all like the white areas outside London now, right?
Yeah.
She gets up in the middle of the night and there's this fucking like migrant, like literally off the boat.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Like, staring through her like fucking like the little window.
Did you see on Twitter where it's like literally 28 days later now?
you're not even allowed to like buckshot people like that. Like, I mean, what the and then apparently
buckshot, can you at least call them the N-word? I mean, we're not asking for a lot here, okay?
Apparently the cops turned up, took him away, and then
released him.
Like took him to a hospital and then just released him because they didn't know where he was from.
They don't know what to do with him. That's what they like to do. It's organized chaos.
And people are like, Fist, why don't you like move away from London to like one of the like the nicer, like more like rural centers? This is why. Because they are about to like, well, they are flooding these areas precisely with these kind of people. So when you ask me, Artie, why aren't I covering? It's because of stuff like this. It's too much, mate. It's too much. It's too close.
I like to be a pest. What can I say?
Now, a lot of people, even people in the chat, have been referencing this, and since we're already demonetized because of the American History,
yeah, you can go extra spicy.
The American History X clips. I think we should play this because this is fucking awesome.
The president has asked me to come out and make a brief statement about the wire that just went out a couple minutes ago. To make things short, I will just confirm that yes, we do have a moon base, and yes, we are currently experiencing some bear problems. Now, I will open it up if there are any questions.
Mr. Press Secretary! Mr. Press Secretary! Mr. Press Secretary!
New York Times.
Yes. I have a 11-part question.
I'm sorry, I only have time for 2.
All right, let me get this straight. So the United States government is admitting that we do have a moon base and that there is a bear problem on said moon base.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, follow-up question. Are you us?
That's a really good question.
No, we are not, and I would like to remind everyone to keep the language civilized. This is the White House.
Excuse me, Mr. Secretary, Bob Daniels, Newsweek.
Mr. Daniels.
How long have we had the moon base? And are these bears Earth bears or are they from the moon?
I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to disclose how long we have had this moon base at this time. We do believe these to be Earth bears. We have no reason to believe these to be lunar bears or even Saturn bears.
Todd Albright, PBS. There's Saturn bears?
I am also not at liberty to go into the various types of woodland life forms on Saturn or any of the other 12 planets.
9 planets.
Right. I've said too much already. What I can show you is the images that have been beamed down to us from the Odyssey satellite system just a couple hours ago. This is the view out of the front door of the United States Secret Moon Base. This was taken yesterday before we discovered the bear problem. And this one was taken just a couple hours ago. So, as you can see, bears everywhere.
Mr. Press Secretary, Mr. Press Secretary, Mr. Press Secretary.
Mr. James.
Yeah, those bears appear to have guns and motorcycles.
We believe they may be involved in some sort of intergalactic drug cartel, perhaps affiliated with one of the interstellar wizard alliances.
Wizard alliances?
Yes, next question.
Just a thought, more of a shot in the dark, but we wouldn't happen to be invading Iran today, would we?
You got me.
I fell for it. You almost got away with that one.
20 years ago?
I went too far. I almost had it. I should have stopped after the slides. I knew I should have stopped
didn't
there.
think anything about it until the cartel thing, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So that's from the Whitest Kids You Know. I think this is like 20 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing. This guy, Trevor, died after like falling from a balcony. Apparently,
Really?
after he was on some podcast saying something really spicy. I forget what it was, and then he just mysteriously fell off a balcony. You know, happens to the best of us. However, listen, guys, in all seriousness, I think the guy to ask about aliens is Zelensky, right? If anyone is having some kind of like contact with beings from out of this world, it's this guy.
Deutsche Welle. Скажіть, будь ласка, чи якийсь апдейт в контексті європейських військ в Україні? Ви зустрічалися зокрема з канцлером Мерцом. Чи є шанс, що Німеччина перегляне свою позицію? Війська можуть бути потенційно в Україні, а не на кордоні.
Look at those darting eyeballs.
Look how huge his pupils are, right? Like he's under bright lights, okay, and his pupils are freaking huge. He is so goddamn high right now.
Well, I mean, I've been under the influence of a couple of things in my life, and I know that if I'm like too drunk, I can't stare at one thing or I'll start floating around and get nauseous. Or if I'm on like a psychedelic, I can't stare at one thing for too long because I'll go into like a wormhole. So I know what it's like to have to like constantly kind of keep looking around to keep my shit together.
I absolutely disavow Slava Ukraine that there is cocaine in my piss or in my spit.
All I want is piss, said the Ukrainian president.
Right. So that's the end of my my intro.
Oh, terrific!
You have wait, hang on. Do a couple super chats before you.
Absolutely, we got some things for you today.
Okay, let me see. New jam for $5. Thank you, mate.
Thank you, Beth.
I'm pretty sure Isaac is trying to get the engineering mount that bakes cookies.
Okay, that makes way more sense now. It didn't make any sense before.
Do you have to be a gnome to use it? I guess is the question. Is it like class locked, or you got to have like a high engineering? Yes, I used to be a Warcraft nerd.
I've been out of the game for a while. What's the capacity on that engineering mount that bakes cookies? How many cookies can be baked? I'm curious. I don't know. I haven't played the game in a long. I don't know. I haven't played the game in like 80 years, dude. It's been so long. I have no idea. So
yeah, it's
from
the new. It's from the new expansion, I think. Testing for $2. I'm here, fellas. You're welcome. We can finally properly start the show, mate. Testing is here. Good to see you, mate. Dillweed, member for 2 months. Thank you. This whole alien stuff is just like that sketch from The Whitest Kids You Know, where the punchline is they're going to invade Iran. Ha!
Dude, we're good. We're in the pulse of culture.
Predictive programming is what we're doing, mate. Right? Christos for £5. Good to see you, mate. Demons are telling me the aliens are real. I'm so confused. It is truly a dilemma. Truly a dilemma. Halnink for $5. Thank you. They were making fun of the Bush administration, but it still works. A testament to how far we haven't come.
Well, they're making fun of neocons when you think about it.
Yeah. Well, it's really just the same people as the Bush administration if you think about it, man.
It's the shadowy, faceless globalists, like Alex Jones said.
Yeah, the globalists and the Chi-Coms.
They never have a face, or they all look alike if they're the Chi-Coms.
Do you think Alex ever lies awake at night, wondering about the Israelis?
It's weird, man. He really missed that target over the last 35 years.
Yeah. Testing again for $2. Thank you, mate. As London metastasizes, it diversifies the shires. All going according to plan. Thank you. Bill Clinton skin suit for €2. Thank you, mate. Piss was never an option for Ukraine.
Yeah.
And Isaac again. I need 6 million cookies, but could only get 271K. Oh, man.
I was gonna say, even though it's a video game, that would it just wouldn't make any sense. That
you got to craft the expansion. Isaac, there's like an expansion that'll give you like more slots.
Yeah, there's like a post World War II Nick Fuentes expansion or something like that. I forget exactly what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to max out your engineering, and I think it might be specific to like a gnome. I don't know what the horde sort of like equivalent is, but if you max it out, you will absolutely get storage for 6 million cookies. Right. Let's no wait, hang on, mate. Wait, we got another one. Leaf Man with a frying pan for $2.
Thank you.
Please, can the first trumpet sound already?
No, we're not ready.
No,
we have to all get on board racially first, and that's what I'm here to do for us today, fellas. Okay.
Okay. So on to your girthy.
We're going to be covering Tucker talking to Mike Huckabee, incredible conversation, and Nick Fuentes talking about race realism with Joel Webbon. But before we get there, you have to admit something, and I know you hate to admit it, but James Lindsay is going to be right again, fellas. I know.
When is he not right? I mean,
it's funny you should say that because James Lindsay cannot be right again. James is in a state of being right. He never exited that state. Therefore, he cannot be right again, which sounds like he has loyal cult-like followers that idolize him, almost treating him like a god. Now, you're probably wondering, what is James Lindsay right about again? Fellas,
Wait, hang on. I want to interrogate this a little bit.
Sure.
Does this mean that James Lindsay was right in the womb? Right? Like that when he was born, right? Like his first gargled utterance was in fact correctitude.
When James Lindsay came out of his mother's pussy, it sounded like this. I'm right again, aren't I? Told you. Tried to warn you. No, I was in there screaming off the careening walls of my own mother's stomach, but no, don't listen to little baby James Lindsay. No one's going to listen to me. That's probably what happened. Actually,
probably. Yeah.
So here is what is said by a Lindsayite. We're going to do a short little jaunt across the Lindsayeites. Tucker Carlson says, when you hear something that's true, there's a different vibration. Why in the actual heck are all these Christian influencers pushing New Age crap? Perhaps more importantly, why are their church leaders allowing it? Now, I know that doesn't quite explain what James Lindsay was right about again. So let me play this clip so you can understand why he's right again.
There's something about true things that just sound different. When you hear something that's true, there's a different pitch or tone or vibration. It's kind of hard to describe. There's something.
Boom! James Lindsay is right again. This guy has a mental illness, fellas. I don't know how else to explain it. We can't even cover his content anymore. What do you think fellas in the chat, what do you think James Lindsay thinks he was right about again?
I don't even know how to answer that question.
He's indecisive. This is like homeless man on the side of the road levels of like delusion.
I mean, the thing he's retweeting from Britta is just fucking retarded, right? Like, is he, she, it basically asserting that before the 1960s and the birth of the New Age era, there is nothing in Christianity that says that like the truth has a transcendent quality? Well, because I would like to make a complaint if that is like what she or it is saying.
Well,
right?
I mean, that's like the feeling of finding out you're being lied to, where you knew deep down that something was wrong, and then now things feel different once you understand that things aren't as they were, and now you can describe the truth of why things are the way they are. I mean, it's a feeling. The truth is a feeling, right? Usually you're told to trust your intuitions because something feels off.
This guy, he needs to make a Gnosticism detected meme.
Yes.
How the fuck is saying that the truth has a different and transcendent quality Gnosticism? Oh, fuck, mate. I hate the way, like, Gnosticism has just become this, like, shorthand for, like, shit I don't like.
But shorthand for Kabbalah. Can we agree on that?
Oh, God. Yeah, I was doing some research. I was talking to the fellas on the Discord, and
yeah,
Gnosticism is like holy mooish, right? But before it even like drifted into Christianity, it was a mooish.
There's
thing.
still a celebrity Kabbalah center that like Madonna went to.
Oh God.
Okay, then we have Seth Dillon. Okay, now we're gonna go for a little bit of an inception ride on this one. So Seth Dillon says, what makes an American is not the name or blood or even the place of birth, but the belief in the principles of freedom and equality that this country stands for. Justice Scalia. Fellas, can you believe Justice Scalia said that? I mean, this guy's supposed to be a right-winger, right? Representing us in the halls of office in the government. What do you think? What do you think of that so far, Fist? That Scalia said that.
Yeah, well, it's just gay, right? Like, and like it's one thing. Like, I mean, when was this? When did you say this? Like the 60s, you said?
Well, hold on. I'll reveal that in just a moment.
Because this sounds like the kind of shit that people were saying when the US had like a much more homogeneous society, and it was like, look, like we can take in a few more people.
I think this is Reagan era. I'm almost positive is when this was said. Kind of makes sense because Reagan was on that shit.
Right.
But so we have the Odyssey Ninja. Is that how I pronounce that?
The Odyssey Ninja. Yeah.
Fellow fella of the stream.
Yeah. So
if a bunch of Africans created their own country and copied our Constitution and principles and freedom of equality, then they are Americans. This is the only argument that you need against these people. It's just like talking to the left about gender, where you go and say, what is a woman? That's it. So
the thing is, right? Theodicy Ninja is correct. He's talking about Liberia, right? Liberia has literally the same constitution as America does.
Dude,
and
I'm going to show you this at the end. He retweeted so many of these. Okay, he went crazy, dude. It drove him crazy.
Yeah, he got retweets from Joel Berry. Like,
we'll get there.
Shout out to Theodicy Ninja. Nicely done, sir.
Giving us content, very much appreciated. So here's Scalia in 2006. See if it's a little bit different. His take later in life
is not what makes a great nation. I mean, diversity alone makes some of the tribal societies of the world that never quite make it, such as some of the places in the Middle East where we're trying to establish nationhood. As I said earlier, it's part of our tradition that everybody can be an American, but there has been a common culture.
Yeah,
you don't have to belong to it, but there has been that. And
what is it? What is it? What is it?
Well, okay, you want to know what it is? Number one. Okay.
Is there a bond? Is there a common culture?
I think. Let me tell you a story. My junior year.
So when he says, "Let me tell you a story," I'm like, okay, here comes an obfuscation. Okay, but this story is meant to describe something that's hard to describe with words.
College, I studied in Switzerland, and I used to get really annoyed when the French Swiss professors I had would refer constantly to les pays anglo-saxons, the Anglo-Saxon countries, meaning England, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, okay, Canada. I said, hey, my name is Scalia, and I'm as American as anybody. Look at this face. Is this an Anglo-Saxon face?
Come on, huh?
I had never been in England. But at the end of my year, I went to England and I felt at home. There is no doubt that American culture, American common culture, which nobody has to belong to, originates with English culture. And that includes Shakespeare, it includes nursery rhymes that we all know and that we use as examples. That's our common culture. And I think the framers recognized that.
Oh.
And diversity's fine, but diversity does not make a nation.
So, fellas, the point of this stream is to not make you like Scalia, where it takes you 30 years to come to this conclusion. Time's ticking, all right? You don't want to be an old man going, oh, that's what it's been the whole time. You should do it in your 20s, 30s, 40s, a little bit sooner than Scalia over here.
Who is the bespectacled man of the Levantine persuasion sitting opposite Scalia? I'm sure I have seen that face before. That guy. Who is that?
Enhance. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know, mate. I'm sure I've seen him.
Oh no. See? Oh no. Is your truth button going off? Are you getting your truth vibes happening? Ooh, are you being mystical and spiritual right now?
Is that like Albert Bourla from Pfizer?
I don't know. It could be. Anyway.
Oh, it's Podesta. It's Podesta. Mate,
No,
thank
it's
you,
not.
chat. Thank you, chat.
It's
John
not.
Podesta. Yeah, apparently, I think it is.
Anyway.
I think it is. Yeah. Yeah.
We got Devin Erickson. If America is just an idea, then no one needs to come here to be an American. They can just be an American anywhere they are. So, of course, he posts this from 1986. That's when this is from. 30 years later, in 2006, he is singing a different tune. Orrin McIntyre responds to Seth Dillon. So when are we deporting Biden, Obama, Clinton, Booker, and Schumer? Nobody believes this. Everyone who pretends they do is a liar. It's not just an idea. It doesn't make any sense because you can just act like you have the idea. Seth Dillon says a belief in the unifying nature of these principles does not, in fact, require that we violate them to kick out Democrats. Orrin McIntyre says American identity is based on a shared set of principles. People who don't hold those principles are still American. One of these things can't be true, and that means the definition is useless. Avoiding the contradiction isn't fooling anyone. To which Seth Dillon responds, Scalia did believe it. Yeah, in 86. Later on in his life, he didn't. And it's because he believed it that he consistently defended the right to be wrong. The right to be conquered, essentially, is what he's saying, right?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So,
These people are like running your government. right? It's one thing if, like, you know, the dude down at the local chip shop, wait, what's the American equivalent? The dude like at the local 7-Eleven, right? Like believes like wrong stuff. Okay, doesn't believe in the values of America. But if you've got like these people running your fucking government, right? Then, oh god, this is so smooth brain.
And so we have monarchy respecter. Actual American starts believing in our ancestors' ideas. No, not like that. Then we got the Odyssey Ninja. America is idea, and to be American is to believe in that idea. But part of that idea is that you can believe any ideas. Dude, I can tell he was pissed.
Well, what you got to understand, Audie, is that America is a propositional, a conventional nation. I mean, who really are the Americans?
So yeah, read what he says right here.
I agree. Wait. Absolutely true. Freedom of conscience. Right. Freedom of conscience is a very American idea. I agree, but that means we can't be a propositional nation. Either we are one and you must uphold the proposition, or we aren't and you can believe what you want. Yes, exactly.
There's
exactly.
a massive contradiction here, right?
I mean, even if the proposition itself is that you can believe anything you want, America is filled with people, like tons of them on the left, who do not believe that at all. They don't believe you can believe whatever you want because, you know, some of the things that you believe might be like racist or misogynistic or, you know what, like.
Oh, listen to how mooish. So the Odyssey Ninja gets the retweet by Seth Dillon. Seth Dillon has 678,000 views, and it's got more comments than likes. He couldn't crack 1,000 comments or likes on this. It's pretty impressive. But
pretty impressive.
Fist, I want to hear your opinion on this. So go ahead and read that if you care to.
Citizenship can't be lost by rejecting American principles. That would violate the principles. So yes, you can believe any ideas you want and still be an American by law, even if you aren't one in spirit. Then you're not a propositional nation. That idea is called freedom. Giving that up wouldn't be the end of the people, but it would be the end of America, right? But what if you get a whole bunch of people running your government who don't believe that, Seth, and then attempt to bend the will of everybody else by like fucking with their lives if they dare express any propositions that they disagree with?
In order for us to be a propositional nation, wouldn't we have to be viciously authoritarian to ensure that proposition is upheld? Wouldn't there have to be constant purity checks? How do you know if people are upholding those propositions in the nation?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, man. I mean, like you could make a sort of thing basically saying like, look, you know, if you're not into freedom, you've got to be yeeted. But they're not doing that, right? Like, you know, they're not. You've got like a bunch of literal communists running around who believe that the American government should regulate every single like inch of their lives, you know, like the EU, for example.
Yeah, and so the Odyssey Ninja says, so America is nothing. You basically agree with Cato that it's just an economic zone for anyone from anywhere to say some magic words that they can completely reject after they say them, and they get the magic piece of paper, which they can't have taken from them. Right.
Yeah.
Once you take the paper, you can't really give it back. Then you're just an American.
wait. Kangmin Lee.
Yeah.
He's a good follow. I would recommend. America is an idea. And if you believe in those ideas, you're an American. But if you reject those ideas and hate America, you can still be an American. You don't even realize how incoherent your beliefs are. It's so embarrassing to see you publicly fall apart on
and
this
what does Seth Dillon say?
You think you're quoting me? Well, yes, that was a good
just
summation.
like James Lindsay. I didn't say those exact words. You put it in quotes. I didn't technically say that. Then we have Joel Webbon, who we're going to be covering later on. Oh my God. He actually says, have you heard of the Constitution?
What the hell does that? So this guy
how do I make fun of him when he really says that? I'm supposed to say that to make fun of him.
He's like, so we should let communists vote to take away our freedom. This is not a new problem with democracy, right? You can like Algeria, for example. Okay, they instituted like democracy that was basically being ruled by the French, and all the Algerians voted for Islam, right? And then the French were like, well, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
Under the rules of democracy, you technically can vote to take away democracy. But
it seems like democracies don't actually believe in rights.
Yeah.
Right? The whole rights
Yeah.
thing seems like
Yeah.
kind of a work at this point.
Well, if you
Have
think
you heard
about
of
it,
the Constitution? Is a quote. I'm just going to start adding his name after I say that.
bro, have you even heard of the Constitution?
How else are you supposed to read that? Have you heard of the Constitution? I don't know how else to read it. But Joel Webbon, so anyone in the world, if they can get here legally, can become a true American by simply saying that they believe in liberty. And after becoming American, they can later decide that they hate everything about our country, fighting against its welfare with total impunity. In other words, get to the magic soil, say the magic words, gain perpetual American tenure, function as an invincible enemy of the state for the rest of your life. Surely you can see how this position is not good for our country. We'll be covering Joel Webbon,
Well,
Fuentes. later
Webbon
on.
is 110% correct about this. Like, and look, this same argument is going on all across the Western world, because this argument is just being deployed for like mass immigration and white replacement. Like, oh, anyone can be an American, bro. Like,
ooh, nice try, Fist. Go ahead and read what the slit said. The Lindsayite slit herself. Go ahead.
the replies
Get educated.
Here, the replies here show the debate isn't really about what makes an American, but whether we should tear up our founding documents, especially the First Amendment, and accept authoritarianism whitewashed to look patriotic and Christian. Absolutely. Look, what you need to do is accept authoritarianism under the guise of communism, right? And if you do anything to stop it, anything to stop it, right? You're a Christian nationalist. I'm glad that was explained.
Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this Joel Berry thing floating around, but this is the origin of it. So, Fist, go ahead and read what Andrew Isker says in response to the slit, Abby.
Abby, if we didn't have the US Constitution but still had a nation made up of Americans, it would still be America. Correct. If we still had the US Constitution but the nation was no longer made up of Americans, it would no longer be America. Correct. Liberia has an almost identical constitution, and it's not America because it is not made up of Americans. Correct. The US Constitution is not a magical document. It does not function in the way that it does absent the particular people it was made for. This is absolutely true. The Constitution is writ upon the hearts of the people. Otherwise, if you make a constitution or a founding document or laws that do not suit the temperament of the people, what you have is tyranny.
Now, read the classic Joel Berry quote that has been memed a little bit in the past few hours.
If we didn't have the Constitution, but still had a nation made up of ethnic heritage Americans, we would descend into third world hell, tyranny, and mass murder within a decade. You have a sinful amount of confidence in your race. Men are totally depraved.
Yeah, because what were white men before the Constitution, right?
Like, what the hell even? Yeah. What the hell even is this?
Yeah, what the hell is even that?
You know what this actually is, right? Berry is putting forward the doctrine of total depravity, right? Which is a Calvinist thing. I'm sure there's people in the chat who know more about this than me, man. I was on the Discord the other night, right? Like talking about Christianity. Some of the fucking people in our chat are like literal scholars, and I kneel to you. But Calvinists have this idea that like total depravity, that humankind is totally depraved, right? Which is why it needs like savior. It needs Jesus, right? I mean, this is
I know, but Andrew Isker says before the U.S. Constitution, all Anglo-Saxons, etc., ever did was tyranny and mass murder. Take it away, and this is what they return to. So easy to make fun of them, dude.
Well, Joel is basically imparting, right, like a sort of religious attribute to the Constitution, right? As if it is the Constitution, right? Like in of itself, like the piece of paper that is stopping this outbreak of, like, I don't know, like white rage or whatever the fuck you call it.
Ben Boyce coming in hot. This is America for constitutional conservatives. See? That's America. He's way spicier than he lets on, dude.
He is. He is a spicy boy.
He'll hit you with some heaters sometimes, man, and I never see it coming. I just think it's incredible that Ben Boyce, 38,000 views, 810 likes. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Seth Dillon, 678,000 views, 864 likes. It's incredible. It's incredible the lack of actual raw engagement these people get. It's nearly impossible.
Oh,
and I just want to show you the Odyssey Ninja was just banger after banger. I see we've moved from magic soil theory to magic paper theory.
Literally. It is literally magic paper
jokes, they're
theory.
just funny truths. I'm getting the tingly feeling, James. You're right again, dude. I'm getting the truth tingly.
Now, look, I have like big respect for the American Constitution. Right? Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not like, but that is just a set of, well, it's a set of laws and principles put down on paper, and it has been modified significantly, right? It's not the.
I'm pretty sure they got it right the first time, and it was never amended. Okay.
This Joel Berry thing, right? That like the Constitution itself will rise like some huge mecha robot and stride across the country, like dispensing justice from its paper arms. Like, I'm serious, right? Like, you think it's like Constitution man? It's like Superman, but he's got like the Constitution on his chest, and he goes around like smacking the shit out of people who like don't believe in America enough. The Constitution is just a fucking document. I mean,
they have the same energy of my dad can beat up your dad in like elementary school. That Constitution's stronger than anything else in the world.
My Constitution is better than your Constitution. I mean, honestly, I think the U.S. Constitution is pretty fucking good, right? Like, you know, if I had a choice, I'd live under it, right? But
no, we don't. Hold on, we don't have a constitution. We have guns. That's it. We just have violence. Right. That's all it is. What else is enforced in the Constitution, aside from the fact that there's more guns than people? That's really what it comes down to.
Pretty much under every blade of grass, mate.
Joel Berry's role is to thanklessly move the country to the right. And I at least thank him for his service. Every post he makes is designed to cause maximum damage to the worldview of the center-right conservatives. Again, thankless work, but he perseveres. Our guy. Just getting beat up with his feet up, dude.
Holy crap, man. Yeah.
Okay, well.
We got some chats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hal 9K for $2. Right, that's how you pronounce your name. Hal 9K. Nice.
Appreciate it. Be embarrassing to know that.
Isaac again. James is like a bear woman lizard snip to create a new person.
Dude, this guy's right on the nose. This guy's right on the pulse. He knows what's going on.
Deadpool Kid for $10. Thank you very much. James Lindsay, you see the revelation of Gnosis from the redistribution of identity politics have quantified the spiritual upbringing. Me, I only ask for the time.
Whoa. He knows the deep roots of wordology, and he's doing a saying-osis in the
Christos for £2. A nation of ideas is just anti-white propaganda. Precisely, mate. Right. Precisely.
Only for us. Only we have the proposition.
Yeah, of course. Everybody else gets to have like a nation of people, right? It's only whites that have to labor under a proposition. TNR FNV for $5. Thank you, mate.
Like
Psalm 149:6. Let the praises of God be in their mouths and a sharp sword in their hands. Indeedy. You. King Spectre for $20.
Hello.
Wait.
You might want to save that one.
Oh yeah. I missed half the stream. Can you two be absolute sweethearts for me and start over?
Why is that a thing? Who says that? You're a bunch of weirdos.
Oh, we absolutely can, King Spectre, but we have to start it again in an alternate timeline. So if you don't have access to that alternate timeline, unfortunately, you won't be able to get access.
It's a pretty infinite timeline, though.
Oh yeah, it's the best timeline.
It's like a timeline with TiVo. Don't want to date myself.
I think again, $5 more of this shit. Didn't we just discuss Gnostic shit? I ain't about this. It's always the lizards. They are crazy. Flight back. Save the white race. Mice, not trophies. 1488 the auction house. I just looked at the auction house on the lake. He's speaking strong and proud. It's a great July 17th. I don't even know. Thank you, Isaac. The new GM for $5. Thank you, mate.
Thank you, mate.
New rules. An American is someone who decides to throw down instead of saying F ice by some lefty train trender.
Yes. Put up or
Thank
shut
you.
up.
Waffle. Oh my God, for $100. Oh,
Wait a minute over here. Hold on. This is the only thing that this can mean.
And now the Chad does what the Chad wants, and no one is stopping him because Chad does what Chad wants.
Unbelievable.
Man, absolutely. My God. I had a better version of this with like the dancing anime girl. I got to try and like convert it. Thank you, Waffle. Fellas, I am now donating to upgrade the security system as there has been a security risk among the members. It's me. I'm the risk.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, we try and keep our interactions, you know, a little private. And he's been, which is good, flooding the community with random people, which we haven't had any issues. And I didn't say anything to him. He's his own person. But however you want to do that, it's unbelievably appreciated. And you make it so we can do 2 of these a week. So we very much appreciate it.
I mean,
and he essentially single-handedly built like a portion of the community by adding so many members.
Can he really be a security risk if he's like such a nice guy? Is the question, right?
No, the security risk is just letting in random people from the chat to the behind the wall content. Right. That we can't necessarily. We get a little loose behind the paywall, fellas. You know.
That's true. That's true. Thank you so much, Waffle. Zoom X Munoz for $2. Joel Berry is 100% projecting. What the hell? Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, he is.
Torch of Wyatt. Hey man, for $5. The Constitution doesn't save us from our absolute depravity. Joel, you're thinking about Jesus. Yeah, precisely.
Wow.
Precisely.
Wow. Jay dropping him.
Crumbum for $5. If only owning dorks like Seth and Joel on X did anything but feel good, we'd have a better country. But it does feel good.
We're gonna focus on what we can control.
Scavenge for $5. People think the Constitution is like Liberty Prime from Fallout. Someone needs to make like a Fallout 4 mod where like Liberty Prime is like covered in like paper of the Constitution. That would be fucking epic. It goes around like, you know, quoting like lines from like Jefferson. Oh, dude. Isaac for $20. My God, look at him go. Sorry, fellas, but I have to go to the Stations of the Cross. Christ is King. Be strong. Save the white race cars, even those of the 25% white. God bless. I will watch later.
White
DNA. Yeah, right. White DNA. Blood and Soil. Have a wonderful stream. Like and sub. Lizards run from Earth. Thank you very much. Right
now, are they passionate members of the community? Absolutely. Are they also bad shit crazy? Yes, I wouldn't have it any other way. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh my God, TK for $50. Holy crap, bro.
Wow.
Stormy.
Oh yeah, he wants us to talk to the Stormy guy. He really wants to talk to.
Stormy Waters, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll DM him on Twitter if I can.
So well, be careful because it's really suspicious how much money he's given us.
Oh, you're on the payroll of the Jews.
So I don't know. I'm iffy on this guy. He's really trying to strong arm us over here.
So you think Mossad wants us to talk to this guy?
Apparently.
I don't know. Thank you very much, TK.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Appreciate that. Okay, hang on. Let's see what else we got. Killed a Heathen for $2. Unintentional Liberty Prime reference. Yeah,
very intentional.
Bloody Cupcake for $2. Came for the Lindsay logging, stayed for the racism.
Dude, it's a pipeline. They were right. It's a pipeline.
And Hal 9K became a member. Oh, see there you go.
Hey, bruv.
Awesome.
All right.
Right. We're done. Thank you so much, guys. What's next, Hardy?
That is you talking about Tucker and Mike Huckabee, which is very silly.
Yes.
Very silly.
Indeedy. So Tucker went to Israel. I know. I know, Sussy. Wait, where's the
Oh, you're on the payroll of the Jews.
Clearly, right? Tucker, they're sizing him up, right? They're probably like, listen, Tucker, right? We'll call off the dogs. If you go and, give the wall a little bit of a smooch, right? They don't ask him to do any kind of like weird porno crap with the wall.
Probably because he negotiates, dude. God, stand up for yourself.
Look, I wouldn't want to be impolite, mate, right?
That's so British. It's almost Canadian of you.
And so then he was, his staff got interrogated at Ben Gurion Airport, right? So he just flew in to interview like Huckabee and then basically like flew out. We'll play a little bit from like this. It's quite funny.
So we show up on Wednesday, fly in from Europe, again at great expense, and show up at the diplomatic terminal at Ben Gurion Airport where this interview is going to take place, which is bizarre in itself. A filthy building. The windows are so dirty in the terminal you can't see out them barely. There's like exposed drywall. The whole thing is depressing and grim. There's litter outside. Like, what is this? This is the diplomatic terminal in Israel. I thought that was very strange. Having been in a lot of diplomatic terminals, I've never seen a rattier one. We go in and Huckabee's there. And of course, he's totally friendly as he always is. Very, very friendly guy and cheerful. And we sort of chat. And the whole place is filled with these guys in t-shirts, thuggish looking guys in t-shirts who are some kind of security. So we do the interview. You're about to watch it. It's very long, at 2.5 hours ish. And I try my hardest to be friendly. I think I kind of succeeded. You can judge for yourself. But I really got the sense, and again, you can decide as you watch it, that Huckabee was not able to answer any of the questions, but also not really in charge. You really got the feeling of a guy sort of trying his best to repeat the talking points, but very constrained, like unable to say certain things. Not because those things might harm the interests of the U.S. government. He was happy to attack, for example, the U.S. military and say they're more brutal than the Israeli military. Okay. But unwilling to say certain things because they might reflect poorly on the Israeli government. And you sort of thinking about this for a second, you're like, wait, you're the U.S. ambassador. You're our representative to a foreign country. Why is your red line criticism of that country?
Okay. We hopping into, I think you're muted.
Sorry, is Huckabee really America's ambassador to Israel, or is he Israel's ambassador to America? Right? You gotta sort of, you wouldn't want to like ask a question like that. Could be taken like the wrong way. Is all I'm saying.
Well,
shouldn't you be representing?
You can't ask Jay questions, but let's get to the Huckabee.
Yes. Okay. So I'll just summarize basically, right? So Tucker's producers got interrogated at Ben Gurion Airport, right? Like he's like waiting to leave, and basically they're asking like the two like producers who'd been in Tel Aviv for like a couple of days to smooth things over. Where's your office? Who else works there? But like just intel gathering like stuff, basically, right? Tucker was very, very annoyed by this, and then he started talking about it. But bros, right? It turns out Tucker is a liar. And how do I know this? Well, this guy, Ollie London, who is very, very famous.
Yeah, isn't this guy Korean?
No, he's a trans Korean, right?
Ah.
So he was originally something. Then he got like a bunch of like facial surgery, and now he shills for Israel. Like literally all the time. It's basically like all he does. Tucker Carlson's lies unmasked after he is seen hugging Israeli airport staff member and posing for photo, despite claiming he was detained and hauled off by security. So this is literally the the evidence that nothing happened to Tucker and his team. Are you ready, bro?
It's the 93% peaceful fallacy. What about all the times where it was okay? Well, we're talking about the times where it wasn't okay. All right.
No, man. No, this is shocking footage, right? This completely blows Tucker's narrative out of the water.
Yeah, think of all the times people took a picture with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, see, how they're both smiling and took a picture.
He took a selfie with someone. Apparently, this was his driver. So therefore, Tucker BTFO'd, bros. Obviously, nothing like that could possibly happen. I'm obviously skeptical, right? Who ever heard of the Israelis, of all people, like, you know, just like detaining people and questioning them and going through their devices and that kind of like stuff? What does Tucker think? This is the UK?
I'm a pretty creative, imaginative person, more so than I am, you know, historical, let's say, and studied on global events. I'm pretty sure I couldn't give, like, Mike Huckabee's answers are so bad that even if I was like joking around, I'd probably accidentally give better answers.
Okay, so let's get on to the actual interview, because there is some bangers in this, right? Like, this is so okay. So if you've been watching for the stream for a while, right, you might have heard me say that the strategy of the moves, generally speaking, has been, we're not having the conversation, right? Anyone who wants to have the conversation be like racist and antiseptic and all of that kind of other stuff, right? And I was saying, like, no, this isn't working anymore. Sooner or later, they are going to be forced into the conversation. And this always goes very badly, because they always wind up having to defend the indefensible, number one. And number two, they're just incredible arrogance and disrespect for like everybody else really, really shines through. And Huckabee just absolutely like personifies this. Fucking look at like, just listen to this shit, man.
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this, because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis.
Yeah.
You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
I couldn't give an answer that bad. Fuck it, dude. You know, I don't know. Come on.
I mean,
what's the prep like? Do they do any prep? You would have a better inclination to this than I would. Okay.
I just get the general sense, right, that these kinds of people are just so incredibly like just like mono-focused. They just don't understand, right? Like, to them, it's just the Goyim babbling. Look, this next clip will illustrate exactly what I mean, right? Like, just listen to this freaking bullshit. And this is why, in my opinion, they don't want to have the conversation. Because once they start having the conversation, everyone's like, wait, what the fuck?
It's that with gender, with the leftists. This is always with the left and the moose.
You know, because up until this point, a lot of the Christian Zionists were basically of the erroneous belief that the moose are just basically Christians with funny hats. And they're not. They are absolutely not. They're very, very different.
In the entirety of the world, there are about 16 million Jews total. And
I would dispute that figure, by the way.
I know, but like I also, this is our argument at the same time. There's only 16 million of them. Half of them are in the United States. They're clustered in New York City is essentially Tel Aviv in the United States.
Yeah.
8 million of them live here.
But what do they consider to be a moo? You ever think of that? Right? Probably a lot more.
Well, it's very complicated, Audie. you know.
Wait, whoa. It's actually
really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all.
The mom's a moo, then she gives birth to a moo. It's very easy. Now, the whites don't exactly do that, but I'll cover that a little later.
Mate, that quote lives like rent free in my head now.
It's somehow picking up more steam.
It's actually really complicated. Right.
The rest live mostly in New York or South Florida and a few other places.
Okay.
So this is a small population of people. They have connection to this land, historically, biblically.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
If Bibi's family, we know they lived in Eastern Europe. There's no evidence they ever lived here. He's not religious.
But
in what sense? How do we know
ancestrally,
that? Do you have his family tree? No, we don't.
Do you?
He doesn't. So no one does. That's the point. So how do we know that he has any connection to this land at all?
And if there has been a practice of Judaism and a connection to the language, the Bible, the land.
His ancestors didn't. He doesn't practice Judaism in any rigorous way. His ancestors didn't live here. They didn't speak the language, and there's no evidence they ever lived here. So on what basis does he have a right to be
Very much
here?
speaks the language. He has fought for the land. His family has fought for the land.
Dodging a
No, I'm not
very
dodging.
obvious question, which is where does this right come from? And
Wait. Are you saying a moo is dodging a very obvious question? Surely not.
I wish I could get that as a drop. I feel like you're dodging a very obvious question.
Oh my
Like,
God.
how often do you feel that way with them?
Dude.
And the reason it's
given
meaningful
you that
is
answer.
because there are a lot of people in the territory that Israel controls today, particularly in the West Bank, who, through genetic testing, we can know their families have been here for thousands of years. We don't know whether they practiced Judaism, whether they were Samaritans, pre-Islam. We don't know that. A lot of them we know have been Christians for 2,000 years. They have less of a right to the land than someone whose ancestors, the only thing we know about them is they lived in Latvia or Poland. They're Eastern European. How does that work?
They're Jewish.
By what definition?
They're Jewish by their
But how do we know they have any
ethnicity.
connection
They're
to
Jewish
the
by
Jews
their
of the,
faith. They're
of the
Jewish
Bible?
by the connection to the language. Jewish by
Yes.
the connection to the Torah.
But how do we know that Bibi specifically?
Sorry?
It's like a connecting flight. It's by connection, okay? They get all of these loose associations. What's mooish? They have a connection to it, you know? They that's how they feel about it. Okay, so like what's being white? You got to be like genetically actually white. 100% white. The goy slop is white racial purity, fellas. I swear. The amount of stuff, like, they think of it as white nationalists think of it as poisoning a white bloodline, while all the other ones think of that they're perpetuating their genes. At a time where white birth rates are lower and lower and lower, but are white people decreasing when we consider a 25% black person and a 75% white person to be black? It's a category error is what we're doing. There's a lot more of us than you think. And it's not gonna, like, this movement, okay? The Caucasian Miscegenation Liberation Front, okay? Now, you've heard of other Liberation Front movements, okay? I'm letting you know, we're operating on like 25% white is white. Obama, he's white. His dad, born in Kenya, plugged up his mom, went back to Kenya. The only American parts about him are literally white, and we still call him black. He's white. And moos will view someone that's like 5% mooish as like, yeah, you're mooish. And then you can go, well, I'm 95% white. I'm not mooish. They go, well, you're going to die a moo, according to us. That's what I'm doing. Obama's dying a white man to me, okay? He's a white man, whether he likes it or not. Is it going to be a long road ahead for what I'm doing? Absolutely. Is it a long road ahead to criticize the moos? Absolutely. Mine is a lot more fun because now you get to fuck whoever you want and you're helping the white race. And if I put Caucasian or white in the title of what I'm doing, everyone assumes it's white racial purity. I'm going to go, what are you talking about? Fuck all the blacks you want. We're going to spread these genes around. What are you talking about? I'll fuck you right now.
Bleached.com. I mean, look, there from the mooish perspective, there is some tension on this idea, right?
Sure.
So the Orthodox and sort of the high moos, I guess you would call it, right? Like, like Bibi isn't like, Orthodox, like per se, right? But they are much more concerned with intermarriage because they believe that miscegenation, like, basically dilutes.
That's their Eric Arval, and that's fine. But there's no position of white blood. You view your blood as weak, fellas. You think it gets tainted so easily. Yet everyone else's blood thrives so easily. It's a category error. So we're going to be invading the wombs of non-white women and perpetuate our genes, okay? Now all we have to do is get them to find us attractive, and then we're hitting the ground running, fellas, okay? One step at a time.
BB's ancestors ever lived here? How do we know that? I'm not sure if I understand your question. How do we know if the Prime Minister of Israel's ancestors ever lived? Maybe I could ask you, how do we know they didn't? I mean, well, it's on the basis of the claim that they did that all kinds of things happen. People are displaced. There's a money flow. I mean, it's a big question. A lot hangs on this. It's not some theoretical thing like, oh, you know, do my grandparents do this or do that? It's like, no, we have a right to be here because my ancestors were here. Okay, how do we know they were here? I'm totally unable to process what you're trying to get at.
Woe's law. Woe's law.
Yep.
That and Nick Fuentes are going to be getting the most miles.
I just can't understand what it is that you're saying. Like, yeah, I mean, it's true, right? Like they get to sort of like, I think it's part of being a distributed people, sort of in the way that they are, right? Like, you know, but I mean, but they do care about ancestry. This question of like what all the Polish and Russians are doing in the Levant is a bit of an uncomfortable question.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, I mean, they would probably say, oh, well, you know, after the destruction of the temple, you know, we wandered through Europe, and as a result, you know, we wound up in Russia. So really the fact that Netanyahu is Polish, he's still like, but nobody really knows this, right? Like, you know, there's the Khazarian question, right? Like whether like a lot of these sort of Ashkenazi, like, you know, had anything to do with the Khazarian Khaganate. Actually, I did an episode of History on exactly this. Check it out.
Enough.
You know, and if so, then, you know, they're not really Levantines. I don't know. I can't decide on this. I'm just saying, right? Now this, mate, nobody else has a right to exist except them, it would seem.
You spend a lot of time thinking about the right of the Jewish people to their homeland. Do the Irish have the same right to a homeland? As long as they can defend it, and as long as they, you know, as long as they can defend it. But Tucker, here's the point. I'm telling you. Wait, hold on. Now you just flipped out. You're the minister here. Yes, they can defend it. And if they can't defend it, allowing me to tell you that I think that what is very, very special here is that there is a biblical as well as an ethnic and a historical. So you can take any one, but if you add them all together, biblical, historical, and ethnic, you have a very strong case that the Jewish people are living in a land that is indigenous to them, that has been their historic homeland for 3,800 years. You can repeat it. And you can also look in the archaeology. The stones cry out. Okay. You've been to the city of David, for example. I have. Okay. Yeah. So you know then that, and I love it. It's an amazing place. It may be the greatest archaeological discovery in all of history because it's stunning. And they still continue to find things that date the Jewish people to this land archaeologically for 30
Pause it, dude. Who are these archaeologists?
Yeah, I would
love to know.
I would be very suspicious of this. Archaeology often has a highly politicized component because it can be used to sort of justify claims to land and rewrite history. And if you want a really, really good example of that, just look at Egypt and what happened under Hawass, the guy who's currently the head of Egyptian antiquities. And they basically went around trashing like certain archaeological sites that didn't conform to the narrative and all this kind of stuff. So I would be.
That's my question: is what happens to like archaeologists that, you know, kind of might make a discovery like we see with studies with trans people globally? What if they come to a different conclusion? Do they like trip and fall onto a little stone to the back of their head?
It's like, well, bullets are little stones.
Do they just trip and fall?
Someone threatens to withdraw their funding if they don't shut the fuck up, obviously, right?
And that's getting off easy.
Yeah.
We can date the British people to their land much longer, thousands of years longer. Stonehenge is 3,000 years older than any building built by the descendants of Abram in this country. And so it's fine. I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's right. I'm just wanting you to affirm that right, but it makes you uncomfortable and you won't. And I don't know why.
Because I've never honestly sat down and asked myself, are the lines around the
It's an island, so we know what the lines are.
Yeah, the borders of like the United Kingdom are pretty fucking clear, mate, right? Like it's like there's an ocean. Like, oh, it's very complicated. Who can say really where the borders of England are? Fucking hell, man. Oh my God.
But are those lines
Are those rooted in something other than the historical connection? Well, great. Then they should have it. But
And
that's
they have
a
a right
question.
to have it. But then you said if they can defend it, and if they can't defend it, they lose the right.
But I didn't say it was exclusive one or the other. I think you're really going off the trail.
I just want to know if these principles apply universally or if they only apply to the people of Israel. And my answer appears to be just the people of Israel. They're the only ones with these rights. And I just reject that.
Dude, now, Pat Buchanan, like, could just barely scratch the surface of this in, like, 1992 and, like, the mid-90s. Just barely scratch the surface. We have come such a long way in such a short amount of time. Fellas, it got a lot worse before it got better, didn't it? Being able to finally have this conversation.
Yeah. Like it's a bit, but see, again, it just goes back to my central point about stopping the conversation, stopping the argument from occurring, because they know that once the argument occurs, they suck at it. Because you can spit all the words you like, right? You can distort stuff as much as you like, but once the events on the ground get to a certain point, it just sounds ludicrous. And this is essentially what's happening. You have to defend the indefensible, and then everyone is like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, let's do some super chats before we go on to the next one. Matty Ice for $5. Thank you, mate. YouTube is not letting me send a joke about James Lindsay being a very skilled masseuse. Here's the money anyway. The hands that hurt are the hands that heal, mate. Like,
as we all know.
As we all know. Thank you very much. Crumbum member for 1 month. Thank you. That's because our genes are better.
Yeah, they must be shared. They must be spread throughout. We have to be like the founding fathers, okay? And really just plug up a smelly, fat, black idiot sometimes, you know?
I don't know whether I'm on board with this interpretation.
Why did I not do a good job selling it? Just
I gotta think about this, man. Right? Like, you know, I think I don't know, mate. If you were talking about like the Japanese, I would sort of be like more willing to entertain this. But you know, with the Africans, it's just actually Fuentes did like a great clip on this where he was talking about it, but I couldn't find it. Chat, can you find the clip from Fuentes where he's basically talking about how he wants to have kids that look like him? I think it was on Fuentes Updates or something like that. See, chat is basically like my personal search engine. It's fucking awesome. TK for $100. Holy crap, bro!
On earth is going on?
My money comes from overtime working for the American military industrial complex contractors. I will shame you into talking to Storm.
What? Thank you. Okay. Now, what would you like us to talk about exactly? Like, what exactly is it? Does the man have like content, a YouTube channel? Can I get some more information here?
Yes, that's a very, very good point. TK, like, what is it you want us to talk to him about? I mean, clearly we are very, very grateful for the massive super chat.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes no matter what you do, okay, no matter what you do, you just can't change people's minds.
Tried the love us thing for about 3,000 years. Didn't work.
You know, sometimes you gotta take a villain arc and go, I don't know if I'm gonna talk to the guy, you know?
Yeah, I've got that clip in the stack. I can't believe it, mate. You know. UGM for $10. Thank you very much, mate. I never see it talked about the tanks that the IDF shot the churches in Gaza with have an effective range of about a quarter to a half of Gaza, depending on the direction. Shit, that's a really good point. Yeah. Gaza is very tiny. It's only like 25 miles long. And
Israel loves to say how small they are of a country, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Theodore McCarthy for $10. Thank you, mate.
Oh, that's that.
The one drop rule means that Obama is black, but that only applies to sub-Saharans. People of mixed heritage with other races have always been considered at least part white.
Well, this is the thing. Popular lexicon and common parlance.
I guess it depends on who you're talking to.
Even Nick Fuentes,
yeah,
gets shit from people on the right, white nationalists, saying that he's 25% Mexican, so he's not white enough. Meanwhile, Amu is always moo enough, no matter how little moo they are. It's a category error. That's all it is. It's a matter of perception. I mean, when you look at the census and you see there's decreasing the amount of white people who it's identification. You've no way of knowing how many actual white people are in the country. Meanwhile, there's people that with black skin that are majority white genetically.
I mean, all right. Hold your horses, Kalergi. you know about the Kalergi plan, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, no, someone chats sometimes, and his name is Kalergi. So
No. The Kalergi plan was this idea that basically like the whole world would be Brazil, essentially. You know, I think that's what people are like worried about, and quite frankly, like I see where they're coming from.
Okay. On one hand, the white race is dying and being genocided, and we're gonna accept that reality so we don't turn out too mixed. You deserve to die. That is a self-genocide at that point. I'm sorry. It's been pissing me off. Okay, you know what? Let's just die then instead of being Brazil. I'd rather be Brazil than fucking die. I don't know what to tell you. It's goofy. The dating pool is already so small. And then on top of it, you gotta like check her papers and see if she's white enough. It's stupid. You gotta do it. Well, she really has like type 2B hair, which is a little more wavy than it is curly. So I suppose we can procreate. It's goy slop. This racial purity is goy slop.
Fuck you, Dad. I guess I will just die then.
The Moos want you to be a pure Christian, right? In order to take advantage of you. They want you to think about being they are the ones accusing you of being a white supremacist. So what'd you do? You go, yeah, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? Why are you saying that? What are you supreme about? Are you running shit right now? They took you over, and the way that they do it, think about this. How much does the moo hate the goy? Hates him more than anything else. Fucks the goy, becomes a moo. I don't know what to tell you. You lose in game theory. Okay. I'm off my soapbox right now.
Right, but not all goy are equal. This is the thing, you know, right? Some are more tractable than others. And this is sort of the point, right? The whites, generally speaking, the Christians specifically, are not very tractable. You know what I mean, right? So, you know, they would prefer a sort of more, you know, brownish cast. X-Moonos for $5. Thoughts: white dad, other race mum. Kid is white since the man is the head of the house. White mum, other race dad, not white. Also, you can call X to keep it simple. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What I'm saying is, don't do the James Lindsay thing, fellas, where you think I'm doing equal and opposite, where you're 1% white, so that makes you white, okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that someone that's 25% black or mooish, y'all call them black or mooish instead of calling them white, when it's a fact that they're more white, is the point that I'm making, and you lose in every simulation in game theory. That is my argument that I don't think any of you can get around. So if you still want to be a purist and whatnot, sure, but at what cost? You should be spreading your seed and conquering. If you want more babies, is the point that I'm making. I have the more natalist argument, I would say.
Deadpool Kid for $5. Thank you, mate. Quote, if the Irish can defend it, okay, but the Israelis lost their land time after time, and they're terrible at keeping it. Yeah, not only that, if they didn't have the US to defend them, like they would have lost it ages ago. So yeah, I don't know. They just don't care about any other country, pretty much. TK for $10. Thank you, mate.
There he is, Rucker.
Stormy is someone who just gets started and will go off into the bushes. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. I just thought you guys could do well hearing from an old stock Anglo-American. No, don't stop. Like, no, that's totally cool. We'll look it up, man.
I know, but yeah, he's telling me to talk to him. I'm like, well, like, fucking, you want to send me a clip of like something he said, or like, I don't know.
Oh, no, I'll have to look it up. Thank you. Death Takes for 10 loonies. TGIF, fellas.
Heck yeah. Friggin' heck yeah. Trying to make some more white babies right now, even if the water beads off their hair.
TK again for $5. Thank you, mate. Being clear, you just introduce yourself and say what's up to Stormy, and he's the type who will rant about them for an hour. Okay, that sounds cool. And Arden says he'll hunt down a couple of clips for us. Okay, awesome.
Sure, thank you.
The Grey Slayer for $20. Go look at him go.
Hello, that's a familiar face.
What exactly do the Moos plan to do with China after the Anglos and Japan are gone? I don't know, but the story about the Moos in China is actually really, really interesting. So there was originally a Mooish presence because of the trading, right? They were called the Kaifeng, and weirdly enough, they also had exactly the same names, like Stone and Gem and all this kind of other stuff, right? But they were basically forced to completely integrate into the sort of Chinese population. So now they're no longer a distinct group. And this is
which genetics do you think win? Like the flat pan face nose genetics, or like the roller coaster at Six Flags nose genetics?
My personal opinion on this actually is that circumcision is a crucial part of this process because of the brain damage that it does to like children. And I think that without infant circumcision, they would probably become like much more normal. It's all the the weird sort of like traumatic shit that they do to their kids that makes them like so crazy. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grey Slayer. Aramate Discourse for $5. Thank you. I have 35 half black kids whom I'm raising as a spiritually black man, as in not at all.
See? Do you see how this can work? There's a paradigm outside of the one that you're thinking right now. Okay, I'm just trying to get you to think larger. Open you up to a new consciousness. You're a little sleepy right now. I want you to
wake up. Woke.
Okay, I want you to wake up a little bit. Understand what's going on.
Aramaic Discourse went out for 35 packs of cigarettes and never came back.
Works every time.
Hurt Chain for 10 Canadian loonies. Thank you very much.
Hey, Brad.
Happy birthday, Artie.
Yes,
Happy
that
birthday,
is a
mate.
week from today. We might just do a birthday stream, so I feel like extra special. Oh my god,
we should.
It's
Oh
like
my
a big
god.
4-0, guys.
Ex Munoz, excuse me, for $5. Saw someone mention JD Vance, and it made me immediately retract my last super chat, fellas. This is a problem. I guess we just know it when we see it. I don't know. yeah, I know, right? I don't know. TK for $20. My God, he's on fire. Oh, wait, hang on. I'll have to give him different. There we go. Look at him.
Look at him. Give him. I got a rogering.
Just because Aramaic Discourse is the code.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you
Likes
go.
to hang out with the boys at the pub and listen to Artie and Fist. All right, ladies. Just so you know, is he not single? He's got to be. Is he single? I have no idea.
Aramaic Discourse.
Yeah.
Don't know, mate. I don't know, right? But look, look, I'm sure all these like mentions and super chats are getting the women like right hot and bothered, mate. That's what they look for in a man. Aramaic Discourse again for $5. Talk to Stormy about the robber barons who saved America. He's got very good info about that era. And that sounds interesting. And the new GM for $5. It's very complicated. Every 3/4 plus Euro male is allowed 1 Euro girl and 1 colorful bedroom decoration. Now
there's a math here, okay? There's a way to work this out.
That's how the Moos do it, actually, right? Like, you have to marry a Mooish girl, but you can sort of like mess around, with the Gentile girls as much as you want, basically. And TK again for $2. I am taken.
Oh wow, what a shame! Absolute crying shame.
Shot down in flames.
What are the? Hearts. Hold on, I need to know the genetics of who you're with before I know how to feel about it. Okay. Right now, I don't know if I'm happy for you or if you're, an abomination to my race. So I'm very interested. What's funny though is I'm 100% European on my 23andMe, so I do have the genes. All right. I know some of you may be jealous about that. Okay, that I would just blow a boogery one into a non-white, but hey, the genes have to be perpetuated.
Double Mumble for $5. Hey, I'm in Discord with a couple of guys. Can you recap what's happened? Yeah, sure. I've got for you, Double Mumble. Of course, mate. Of course.
I like how the back channels are like old school, like 1930s. You got to know a guy that knows a guy to get in.
Yeah, that's right. Like speak easy.
Yeah.
Now, you Americhuds might think that you have shed blood for Israel, but that is completely untrue. In fact, your country has never really done anything for Israel at all, ever. Right? I can't believe that you would believe such propaganda. Here is Tucker getting absolutely owned with facts and logic, bros.
How many boots on the ground has the U.S. placed on behalf of Israel?
However many went to Iraq. We did that for Israel.
No, I don't think we did.
But you said we did it because of 9/11?
That was the U.S. justification.
We didn't invade Iraq for Israel. What are you talking about?
I know, but what Tucker Carlson would say is well, that was the justification. Somehow, Mike Huckabee is using all of his opposition's arguments, but just repeating them in a different tone. He's just saying them in a non-inquisitive, matter-of-fact way.
For it,
but it wasn't for
for
9/11. So what was the actual reason?
Well, that's the U.S. government told us it was for 9/11. They told us that they were part of it. They had weapons of mass destruction.
They knew
my government told me.
Obviously,
Maybe
there's no
not.
evidence.
The government I was in told me that. You know what? The government I was in told me that. It's like, Mike, buddy.
So America invaded Afghanistan to find Osama bin Laden, even though he wasn't there. He was in fucking Pakistan, right, on dialysis. And then they invaded Iraq because I remember when the US invaded Iraq, okay? And all of the sympathy that everyone had extended to the Americans because of 9/11 evaporated overnight, okay? Everyone else in the West was a bit cagey about Afghanistan, but they're like, okay, like, no. But then when they turned around and invaded Iraq, everyone was like, what the hell? Mate.
It was not in that component. But
Israel had no influence on our decision to invade Iraq. That's not what the people who made the decision say. They say Israel.
Well, let me get back to the point.
Gave us that information about the fake weapons of mass destruction. Where do you think that came from? It came from Bibi.
How many Americans put their boots on the ground for Israel? The answer is zero.
Everybody who served in Iraq put their boots on the ground for Israel.
Did not.
Where did we get the information about the weapons of mass destruction that wasn't real?
We didn't get that from. You're saying we got that from Israel? That Israel was one pushed us into that?
Well, absolutely.
You really believe that?
I know that for a fact. And so does every. Yes, this has been widely written about and discussed. And I'm not attacking Israel. Like, they thought it was in their interest to take out a government that was paying the families of suicide bombers. I get it. I'm not mad at Israel about that. I never have been. I'm mad at the Bush administration and all the people who went along with this to the detriment of my country. That's who I'm mad at, not Israel. Bibi's doing what he can for his country, whether you agree with him or not. I want my leaders to do the same for my country. That's it.
Very succinct, very to the point, very matter of fact.
I don't know. That's very antiseptic, if you ask me. Now
they're always going to call you hateful. The best strategy is to go, hey, they're trying to do what's in their best interest. I'm trying to do what's in my best interest. I just want to be able to do what they're doing.
Now, speaking of 9/11, I want you guys to watch this clip. Okay, here is Trump, who suddenly has white hair. By the way, has anyone else noticed this? His hair is
that has to be the lighting. Now. That's got to be the lighting.
No, it's not. There's a bunch of pictures. His hair is shock white now. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen this in real life, right? Where somebody has told a very, very big lie and somebody else is sort of shaming them by detailing the lie in front of observers. This is what is happening to Lutnick. Watch his body language quite carefully. And just to sort of point this out, Lutnick is basically Trump's handler now. You never see Trump anywhere without Lutnick by his side, doing the whole commissar sort of beady eyes, watching him constantly. And I think this is Trump basically flexing on Lutnick, because how do you push back against someone who has blackmail on you? You have blackmail on them. That's how it works.
I mean, he literally watched the plane go into the building, go into the World Trade Center. Amazing story. That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So you owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right? But his wife insisted that he take his child to school. For 5 years, he didn't do it. He was horrible. What kind of a father?
Mate, he's totally just baiting.
He's laying into him. He's not letting up.
For 5 years, he didn't go and take his child to school. And then on that one fateful day, he suddenly decided he's like taking the piss, mate.
Was he? Okay, I'll do it. And he was therefore driving down at 8:43, whatever the time was, down the West Side Highway, and he saw the plane go into the side of the building. He said, wow. And he occupied the top 3 floors of the World Trade Center, of the one building of the World Trade Center. And you know what happened there? He lost 100% of the people in that, his whole company was there. I mean,
Mate. Someone described the current US government as the Ottoman court. I forget who it was, but it is the Ottoman court, right? The amount of like intrigue going on at the moment is freaking insane. You know, nothing is as it appears. All that fucking shit. Right. So back to Huckabee and Tucker. Did you know, bros, that the IDF is actually the most humane military ever to exist? Shocking, I know, but look, this guy says that it must be true.
Israel goes to links that no other country, including ours, goes to in the middle of an urban war, and yet Israel ended up with fewer civilian deaths in an urban war than any urban war of record.
You said you didn't know how many civilian deaths there were, so how can you say that?
If you took Gaza's numbers, Hamas's numbers,
you said you don't know what the numbers are.
We don't.
You just told me that. Then how can you say it's a lower number?
But if you took the numbers that they reported, which is like 50,000, 24 or 25,000 of those were actual warriors. How many civilians? If you took all of their numbers,
range from 120 to 78. Those ones I just read. I don't know if that's real. I don't know either. I'm asking you.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, those numbers I've not heard, have not read. The numbers that I think are more reportable are somewhere in the 60,000 range.
Where do those come from?
From the Gaza Health Ministry,
which is those are valid numbers.
I think they are. I don't think that they're accurate, but I'm saying
You're saying they're inaccurate, but they prove that Israel's.
No.
They don't fucking know. They've got no idea. Like,
He's like, well, my God, what are you saying?
It's like you just literally like level an entire city, right? How many people died? I don't know. We'll have to like look in the rubble. That oh my God. So part of the new US like Board of Peace thing that they're getting to reconstruct Gaza, they're going to like make like this huge like military base, and they've already got protocols for like what happens when they come across like corpses and shit. Like, oh, dude.
I'm saying, let's assume that the most widespread numbers, the largest numbers that have been reported out of Gaza by Hamas.
Yes.
Let's assume they're true. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they are true, but assume they're true. Let's just take them at their word. Then you still have a lower number of civilians killed than in any urban warfare environment in modern history. Fact.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
What are you comparing it to?
He's comparing it to World War II. I bet you any money.
To any urban warfare.
Name one.
Iraq.
Where in
Afghanistan?
Iraq? Where in Iraq? Where in Afghanistan? There aren't many urban areas in Afghanistan. I don't think there was any fighting in urban areas in Afghanistan.
Kabul?
I don't know. Were there pitched battles in Kabul over long periods of time? I don't.
20 years.
In Kabul? I don't.
Throughout all of Afghanistan.
But so what were those rates?
You're talking about what are the rates there? The number of people who were killed into the tens of thousands. I'm asking you to.
I don't know the answer. I've never heard of any of this. You brought it up. You said the IDF has killed a lower proportion of civilians in urban warfare than in any urban conflict in modern history. I'd never heard that before. I don't know what are the controls for that. And you said, well, America, the U.S. military killed more civilians.
Would you agree that the real tragedy was that Hamas continued to force this war?
Hold on. You just once again said that the IDF is more humane than the United States military. You just said that. You said in Iraq and Afghanistan, the U.S. military killed more civilians than the IDF did in Gaza. You just told me that. I never heard that before. And my question is, how do you know that? What are those numbers?
And I'm trying to explain to you that there were extraordinary efforts to keep the number of
numbers, do you?
I think they were tens of thousands.
It's in a round we go.
Holy shit! Right?
They all speak like they're in a deposition. You ever notice that?
Yeah. It's such a great example of motivated thinking, right? He doesn't know the numbers, right? He just knows that his position is correct. Therefore, reality must line up with that. You know what I mean? Holy shit, dude!
I'll get them for you.
Well, you brought it up. That's the only reason I'm pushing
it. But I'm wearing a flag. I work for a country, and you pretended or alleged that somehow I'm not loyal to this, and I'm criticizing my own country.
They did a better job than the U.S. military in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I said, what are the numbers? And you said, I don't know. So on what basis are you making the claim that the IDF in Gaza spared more civilians than the U.S. Army and Marine Corps did in Afghanistan and Iraq? Why are you saying that? Like, on what basis are you saying that?
From the conversations that I've had with the people who fought there. And I don't have the exact numbers for you.
Fucking hell.
Won't stop them from making the claim.
And
They always crumble under a modicum of questioning.
Oh my god! And the thing is, right? Do you remember, particularly in like Afghanistan, the lengths that the U.S. troops had to like go to, right? Like their rules of engagement was so weird and like torturous, and they could only like return fire once they were like fired upon, and all of this crap, right? Whereas the IDF just marauds through Gaza, right? Like just blowing shit up like left and right. Like, mate.
Leadership is a different question. And I want to refer you very specifically to a number of speeches the Prime Minister, your friend Benjamin Netanyahu, gave in the aftermath of October 7th, including one in November of that year, when he referred to Amalek. Now, Amalek is a biblical reference. Of course, you'll be very...
Dude.
Like, weren't we talking about I mean me, I know. You were talking about Amalek to me, maybe like what, 3 or 4 months ago you brought it up, and then maybe like a month and a half later it became like he started saying it. Do you remember that? You were like explaining it to me behind the scenes, and then they started talking about it publicly. That is spooky at the rate in which these ideas are getting out in public.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, right, for ages, right, like after World War II, the whites were Amalek, basically, right? Like Rome was Amalek, right? And by Rome, they mean Europe, okay? And then October 7th happened, and they're suddenly like, well, actually, the Muslims are Amalek now. It's just a placeholder for whoever they want to destroy, essentially.
Familiar with that. The Amalekites were a tribe described throughout the Bible, particularly in 1 Samuel, that obstructed the Jews as they fled Egypt. And God tells Samuel to give the instructions to Saul to kill the Amalekites. And he says, and I'm sure you remember this is in 1 Samuel 15, of course, I know you know it. He says, kill the men, kill the women, kill the children, kill the infants, kill the donkeys, kill the camels, kill everything.
That could be anything.
And Saul.
Yeah, like you don't read too much into it. Talk,
you need someone to interpret that for you. You know, I mean, you're not responsible enough to know what those words mean, right? There's a translation error.
Yeah, precise. Look, if you haven't read the entire Talmud, you can't really be saying these things, Tucker. It's actually very complicated.
You have to know Hebrew, though, you know?
Oh, of course.
Translation. And you can trust anyone that speaks Hebrew to accurately translate it, right?
Not only that, right? If you can't speak Hebrew, how can you even possibly understand Christianity? You know, it's the subtle distinctions, right? And all the, little holes and like workarounds, right? I mean,
he didn't say no usury. You don't speak the language. He said not usually. Lost in translation.
Spares the king, and he spares the animals. And for that, he is punished by God. That is genocide. God is calling for genocide of the Amalekites, of Amalek. And the prime minister of Israel, at least once, I believe on other occasions, described the Palestinians in Gaza as Amalek. That's calling for genocide. And you know that.
I totally disagree.
Tell me then what it means.
Because to say that Israel was attempting to commit genocide, first of all, that's simply not true.
I'm saying, what is the prime minister talking about? Why would he refer to the Palestinians as Amalek? What is Amalek?
You would have to ask him. I don't know. I know what Amalek is. I do understand 1 Samuel 16. I get all
15.
that.
1 Samuel 15.
But I do understand.
And it's widely known. So if you say our enemy is Amalek and we are proceeding on the basis of God's commands to us, you are calling for genocide. Tell me how I'm missing something.
Because if Israel wanted to commit genocide, they could have done it in 2.5 hours.
We can debate what's happened in Gaza. I'm asking you.
How? Right? I'm serious. I have heard this before. By what mechanism do they imagine that they could have cleared Gaza in 2.5 hours? What, they'll drop a nuke on Gaza? Yeah, I'm sure that would have been like great, like for Israel that is literally next door. Some kind of like bioweapon. This is very dark shit, right? Oh, we could have killed them all in 2.5 hours, but we didn't. Why? What? Because you want the land? Because there would have been blowback? Because like even the Americans would have turned around and been like, yo, man, that's too fucked up. Like,
they seem humane by sparing them.
Oh my God.
Well, they do love it when someone needs them, right?
Yeah.
Of this country.
Ask him.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know.
Does it bother you at all?
People, I don't know what he meant. I don't know if it was an illustrative metaphor. I think what he was saying was that we're not going to let anything keep us from getting our hostages back, their sons and their daughters who are being brutalized, raped, tortured, starved, beaten.
Come on, Mr. Miss.
No,
there are many examples of justice in the Bible, but there are
Israel
very
gets
few.
accused of genocide regularly.
I'm not accusing Israel of anything. I'm saying that the prime minister of Israel described the Palestinians
Do you think he
as Amalek.
attempted to do genocide?
I'm asking why, of all the references in the Bible, and there are many to justice, and there are many to reconciliation, that is a reference to genocide, as you know, killing every man, woman, child, and infant, I'm quoting, and their animals, wiping them from the earth. And when they don't do that,
Try it again. We're going to say it to you again.
When you say that at the outset of a war, and then you wind up with massive civilian casualties, maybe not as big as they were in Iraq, then I have to ask you, what is that? And is that kind of thinking consistent with Western values and with Christianity? Do we as Christians believe it's okay to kill people's children?
No, we don't.
Wait, is that going to be a Christian? Because, I mean, dude.
And neither do the Israelis because they didn't go after their children. If they'd have wanted to kill all their children, Tucker, they've got the military capacity. They could have done it in less than a day.
I've heard you say that.
I know.
I mean, I guess
so
they
could have done it.
Okay, but
why didn't they? Why didn't they?
Like, what military capacity is he referring to?
Do you think he knows?
Weird. You think what?
I said, do you think he knows? Like, what he needs to do is the mouth needs to open and start saying something quickly. That's what he's thinking in his head.
I think there are a lot of decent people in Israel who don't want that. But I'm talking.
Do you think that the prime minister wanted to wipe out every single person in Gaza? Do you
I'm
really
asking
think that?
you what you think is the U.S. representative of our government.
I don't think that that's what he wanted to do.
Did
because
you ask him? Why are you
I
referring?
never had to ask him that.
Why?
Because I never saw any evidence that Israel tried to wipe out every single person.
Fuck, man. Okay. And this is fucking
terrific.
Crazy. So we have commented a few times on the similarity between the Moos and the melanated peoples in their calls for reparations, more Gibbs, more this.
As
more
James
that.
Lindsay says, the Mooish hand hits the black side of the cheek.
And here's Huckabee basically saying exactly that.
Should Israel be expected to even pay 1 penny to rebuild Gaza at this point?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'll tell you, if anything, there ought to be reparations to Israel for the extraordinary fight that they have had to conduct to get their hostages back, 252, including many Americans, and to pay reparations to the families for the 1,200 people who were murdered, massacred, and mutilated by these hideous, disgusting savages of Hamas.
It's every time.
Reparations from whom? Exactly.
Yeah, they
right?
got that Ukrainian woman on the bus to get reparations, you know?
I just don't understand. Like, Gaza is a smoking ruin at this point, right? I mean, you know, they're about to like rebuild it, right? But
now, Fist, I don't want to listen to anything this guy has to say just by the sight of him. I'm going to let you know now. I'm going to listen to him, okay? I'm going to let you know that I don't want to just by looking at him.
The problem really is that they were too nice. Artie, you see, right? That was the problem.
So we have to build a lot of assets, so they need us a lot. Because I've come to one conclusion, they're not going to love us. The aspiration that the world will love Israel, it's not going to happen. What we need is that our enemies fear us, our friends respect us, and everyone needs us. We tried the love us thing for about 3,000 years. Didn't work.
I love that. I love that. It's exactly what the Democrats are saying nowadays. We're like, you know what? We're done being nice. Now we need to push back against the right. I wonder where they get it from.
Yeah, I would dispute that. Now, as far as Gaza, I've got like a whole like bunch of stuff on the Trump's peace board, but we're
stuff, buddy.
Yeah. We got it. We got to move into the next segment. But I do want to play this. You may be aware of English war enthusiast and great lover of the nation of Israel, Tony Blair, master of mass immigration and the architect of New Labour, Well, now he's on the Gaza Reconstruction Board. And what is his plan? We'll check it out.
For decades, Gaza's governance has been characterized by extremism, corruption, ineffective institutions, and the complete absence of a route to prosperity for the Gazan people.
So it's like the UK. It's basically what he's saying. Can the UK get some like rebuilding money, Tony?
Yet, as President Trump recognized, its potential has always been vast. 25 miles of Mediterranean coastline, proximity to great regional and global markets, and a young, dynamic population with a median age of 19.
Why is the Gaza population have a median age of 19? That's very young. Where are all the older Gazans? Did they like eat bad hummus or something? It's very, very confusing, man.
Yeah, I mean, being a Gazan is kind of like being a squirrel. Like, you don't really see an old squirrel out in the wild, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because of the bad hummus, right?
You never see like a squirrel with a long beard. Like you always see a young, spry squirrel. You know, they don't really, in the wild, you don't really make it to old age.
So today we set out profound changes necessary to rebuild Gaza for Gazans. Gaza not as it was, but as it should be, including its governance. Effective public institutions serving the people, a business environment where enterprise flourishes, an education system educating the young for tolerance.
So usury and propaganda is what he's talking about, right? What do you think he means by a vibrant business environment?
And achievement, and a tech-enabled society making the most of the digital revolution.
Digital IDs for everyone.
This is a vision of Gaza as part of the Middle East at peace. Not a phony piece of declarations no one means and agreements no one intends to keep, but a genuine commitment to a region where whether you're a Muslim, Jew, Christian, of any faith or none, you can rise by your own efforts and feel your government by your side, not on your back. That is the vision behind President Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza, and it remains the best, indeed the only hope for Gaza, the region, and the wider world.
Wow, a government that's behind you then isn't on your back. Man, the fucking UK could use some of this.
No, not for you, Goy.
Oh my God. Okay, so wait, what else have I got? I got like more like.
I mean, can I get started over here, buddy?
Yeah, you can get started.
Your job is done. You know,
my work
you work
here,
too hard sometimes, Fest.
My work here is done. Let's do some super chats, and then we'll get into the final segment.
Alt right.
Double mumble for $5. Hey, I'm in Discord with a couple of guys. Can you recap what's
it's incoherent. I don't understand. I don't know why you would take the time to do that.
Unicorn eye lasers for 10 Canadian rupees.
Hello there.
Thank you very much. I think some racial purity is important for whites because a lot of our phenotypes are recessive and would be lost in the mix.
Yes, we already have a movement of white racial purists. That's, one could say, all that we have. Okay?
Yeah,
There's not a representation of pro-whites, okay, that are trying to pass on their genes through any gash they can and still consider them white genes. It's a perception issue.
No, man, that's not true. You're not going to get gingers at all. You're not going to get blue eyes. There's this unicorn eye lasers.
Those are recessive genes, okay?
Sorry?
Those are recessive genes.
Right? But yeah, just because they're recessive doesn't mean they don't.
Then the black can have those genes. You've seen those like weird freak-looking mixed kids, right? You don't want one of those?
No. I absolutely do not. Oh my
God.
God.
I love being a villain, dude. This is my villain arc. I can't wait.
Fucking gobliner. Caleb Knight for €250. Thank you, mate. Hey, in voice chat with Mumble, can you recap buying his gay?
I have a community filled with very bizarre people.
And TK for $5 again. Thank you, TK. Okay, my 23andMe, equal parts German, Irish, Slav, and Swedish. My girl is pure Irish American. Well, God bless you.
What kind of American?
You know, may you have like many beautiful white babies, TK.
Well, that's only his word. I need to see his papers. I need to see his papers.
You're pushing me towards the ethnats, mate. I'm telling you.
That's good.
And Dillweed for 10 US dollars. Thank you very much, mate. Did you see the Orthodox Church of Jerusalem put out a statement against Zionism a bit ago? And they're having some land trouble over there now with the government. Yeah, I did see that. Well, I mean, you're not allowed to go against Zionism if you're in Israel, man. They'll shut you down. But you know, I keep hearing, right, like how much Christianity is respected in Israel. Something tells me it very much depends on the kind of Christianity. Thank you for the super chat. Right, I think that's it, mate. Do you want to launch into your weird miscegenation? Fucking man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to like get on board.
Hey, it's the Caucasian Miscegenation Liberation Front. Okay, now you're watching someone who calls themselves an atheist, liberal, civic nationalist. Okay, this shouldn't be that surprising. I talked to Eric Arval. I found out in that interview that it goes, you fucking eyeball it. So, you know, I've been thinking, right? But this is understanding race realism with Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is, all right, I'm a pro-natalist, okay? Nick Fuentes is not a pro-natalist. He's telling you to not have kids. I'm never having kids, all right? But I know that we need more kids. And so the dating pool, already very shallow, okay? All I'm saying is, so you'd rather what, die off? If we can't have blonde hair and blue eyes, you're gonna die off. It's just a
but it's not. Look, that's bullshit. It's not fucking blonde hair and blue eyes, right? It's blonde, brown. Whites have black hair. It's like blue eyes, green eyes, hazel eyes. All of these are recessive.
It comes back. It comes back. They're recessive, right? It comes back.
Does it though?
Oh, what if you lose it? I have brown hair and brown eyes. I guess that's why I don't give a shit. I'm 100% European.
Oh, I see. Now the truth comes out.
Dude, I have beady little blue-eyed rat eyes
Chad,
too. I got small, dark little eyes.
Well, as a blue-eyed Chad, did you ever see the color chart that was going around on 4chan? There was like a color chart of like how like Aryan your eyes are.
No,
I was quite high up, actually. You know.
All right. So now, as always, this is going to be normalizing racial conversations and things that we all essentially know to be true, but haven't been comfortable to say for the past entire time we've been alive. So let's give our reverence to these fine gentlemen.
All right, here we are. Blacks, Jews, and whites. What does Nick Fuentes think about race?
We're right to the point, you know? Right to the point. This is the benefit of doing 10-hour-long episodes where it's like, okay, we know who you are. Yes, please trash me. That's all you can. Trash me. Nothing you can say to me. I haven't said fucking 2 feet from the mirror, motherfucker. That's all you got.
Have you been down in the club? Are you down in the club?
I only haven't had sex with, I think, Asians. I've kept with the I got some stories of sex with black women, you know? I mean, not great, but you know.
See, I guess my experiences have been much more restricted, I guess, in that regard. You know.
There's definitely an N-word smell that you can't get rid of. It's
crazy.
You put fucking hydrogen peroxide. You can try. You're not getting that stain out of the carpet, dude. That's fucking there for good.
Crazy white bitches only for me personally. Right, crazier the better.
Crazy. Woo. Yeah, crazy white bitch over crazy black bitch. I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even I mean, personally, I've had some crazier white bitches, but that's because we actually got to know each other better than the black bitches. The more they know you, the crazier they go. So, anyway.
Are you saying you weren't compatible with the melanated feminines?
I don't have time to even start talking about it right now. It's a long story.
Just saying, right? Like, could there be a reason why
you're talking to somebody who was in a polyamorous relationship in 2015 with a Dominican woman that I lived with? So let's just start watching this, shall we? I don't have time to go into that.
As far as race is concerned, obviously very touchy subject, big subject. I would say that race is real. I would call myself a race realist is where I would start because I think that on the right now, even maybe more than the left, we have come to this consensus that race is not real.
Right.
And the message that's pushed is colorblindness is supposed to be the way that we look at each other and the way that we govern the country. But I think that's a mistake. The reality is that race is a biological phenomenon. It's a genetic phenomenon. And there's this narrative people talk about, or a word that people use.
Very quickly. Now, this is a matter of category. Mexican isn't a race. This is proof that race is a social construct, okay? The difference between ethnicity and race, dude, don't they essentially mean the same thing? I mean, race is just a visual classification.
No, look, the Mexicans and a lot of the South Americans generally are a cross between the native South Americans and the Spanish.
Yeah, well, there's
right?
like 6 to what was it? Like 4 or 6 variations of mestizo in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Like, heavily defined race, right? But the way that we think of race is just color, black, white, brown. Like, they're distinct peoples with like a genetic lineage. So to say that Mexicans aren't a race, not according to the U.S. Census, but if you let the U.S. Census decide how you categorize genetics and people, I mean, that would be a category error, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
They say the race is skin deep. And when we talk about racial differences or racial disparities or racial politics, people like to say things like, well, why should the color of a person's skin matter? And I think the record of the past 60 years in America with the Civil Rights Act, with the multiracial politics, is that we know that for a fact, race is not just skin deep. It's not just different shades of different colors. To the extent that there are different colors, it's a result of a genetic biological difference. And it does reflect other genetic biological differences in appearance, in behavior, in culture, in mindset. And that, I think, is at the center. That question is at the center of politics today as America has become a multiracial nation, is a country with all these different fundamentally people living together. How exactly are we going to get along, and how great are the differences, and what are they?
Right. I've heard some people say, what if it was the contents of character all along? And not to say in a universal sense, each and every single individual, but that's what we're always doing when you think of.
What's important with this conversation is it's a Protestant talking to a Catholic, okay? Now, what's funny to me is that, I mean, based on what I've seen, Protestants are kind of, I wouldn't say responsible, but like, on the wrong side of history with some of these liberal issues and how these things happen in terms of the religion. I mean, wasn't liberalism born from Protestantism, more or less?
Yeah, I mean, I think my personal opinion on this is actually that religion is actually at least partially a product of both ethnicity and language. So this is why you can import, say, Christianity into Africa. But the way the Africans do Christianity is not the same as the way the whites do Protestantism, for example, right? And that if you look, for example, at the split between the Orthodox and the Catholic Church, you can really put that down to differences not only in language, but also in ethnicity. I'm sort of the opinion that much like a constitution, a religion grows from its people, because in order for it to be something that a large ethnic group participate in, it has to have the essential characteristics of that ethnic group. Otherwise, it's just imposed tyranny.
Yeah, how do you like the picture of Thomas Jefferson preparing to write the Declaration of Independence 11 years before the Constitution? Can you believe the Constitution? It's like God, isn't it? It just turns you into a man. It evolves you within a decade.
I had no idea Jefferson was so hairy before he wrote the Constitution. Is there like a special amendment for like arm waxing or something?
Yeah, the Constitution made him less hairy. That's what it did.
Right.
Of prejudice. It's to prejudge. Like, prejudice in the negative connotation, I think really is, I think it's immoral. But in the technical sense of like, we're constantly making judgments all day long. And we're also, making prejudgments. And some of those prejudgments can be arbitrary and can be sinful. But then some of them are based off of patterns and statistics and all these things to give us an idea of an expectation of something that's foreign or strange to us. So I don't know, but I'd like to have an idea ahead of time. And so I'm going to rely on past experiences. I'm going to rely on averages, those kinds of things. The favorite verse of every liberal who ultimately hates Christ, but it's like, I don't believe your Bible. The meme, I don't believe your Bible, would never follow it, but perhaps I can use it against you. The favorite verse is Matthew chapter 7, where it says, judge not, and that's all they do. But the first 5 verses are about not judging. But then the immediate following verse, Matthew chapter 7, verse 6, is do not cast your pearls before swine, or give what is holy to dogs. And the irony is,
I really like do not cast your pearls before swine.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
Yeah, and do not give your
command.
holy writ to dogs. Now, I mean,
do not give what?
It says do not give your holy writ to dogs, I think is what he says. And he's got a freaking point. Like this is the problem with the highly sort of universal nature of Christianity that's like, the sort of the social justice types have like run away with, right? Like there has to be some kind of endpoint, some kind of enclosure, some kind of barrier between which you're like, these people are capable of receiving the word of the Lord and these other people are not. Like, I hate to put it that way, but if you just make it every single person that like walked on the face of the earth, you get the kind of problems that we're getting now.
Well, I also think it's important to have an arbiter of interpretation for scripture. Like, from what I've seen, people trying to interpret the Bible themselves can go, they have a difficult time contextualizing it. But at the same time, what denomination of Christianity was trying to make it so only certain people could read the Bible and then relay the message to people?
That was Catholicism.
Okay.
This famously is what sort of kicked off the Reformation, because but the Catholic Church at the time had become extremely corrupt. So
yeah, that's always the issue.
Yeah, this is the thing. They were like selling indulgences, and the Rome had just become like just massively corrupted, and so a lot of people were basically like, look, you can't claim to be the representative of the church and yet do all this stuff that is highly unchristian. And then the Catholic Church would be like, yeah, but and part of the problem was the figure of the Pope, his infallibility, his just sort of immense power. We don't sort of like think of this now, but there was a time where the Pope basically asserted that he was more powerful than any king in Europe, right? So all of the kings would have to constantly sort of deal with the Catholic Church, right? And it created a lot of problems. And in a sense, the Catholic Church became sort of like kind of like the EU before the EU. That's a bit of a stretch, but in the sense that it was a sort of distributed layer above national governments, even though back then a lot of, Germany in particular, the Holy Roman Empire was just sort of these very, very tiny statelets. And this is one of the reasons why the Reformation sort of kicked off, is that when Luther nailed his things to the door, the guy who was in charge of, I forget which city it was like somewhere in northeastern Germany, the king was quite, and not the king, the princeling, the landgrave, right, the dude, right, was very annoyed with the Catholic Church. And so he was like, no, I'm gonna give Luther shelter. Look, I'm sure people in the chat can Worms, apparently. It was that's right, probably in Worms. Yeah. Margrave, the Margrave of Worms, allegedly. Man, we have the best chat. Thank you, chat. But yes,
lightning quick.
Yeah, man. we have the best freaking chat. It's like awesome. Thank you, guys.
Oh, so but what I noticed with the Ortho Bros is that they'll try to interpret it, but they do a good job of like, I'll ask them a question, they go, I'll have to defer to my priest or my who fucking is a priest.
Part of the reason for that, in my sort of experience, is that Orthodox priests are generally a lot more normal, and they don't hard push things that are very hard or impossible to do. Okay, right. So like Lent is coming up. Okay, yes. Right now,
this used to push me away, where every person I would talk to about Lent would give me a different answer. Then I talk to you, and you're like, no, it's decentralized. Every church and then I realized that like it's more of I'm misinterpreting fast. All right, I'm doing a diet fast. Okay, when they mean fast in Orthodoxy, it's a dopamine fast. Essentially, is the point of it is to take something away that you typically enjoy, and that you're no longer getting enjoyment from that material.
But right, no one's going to kick you out of going to church because you didn't fast during Lent. Right? No one's going to stand you up in front of the church and say, "Look at this guy; he didn't fast for Lent." Right? And indeed, there's this idea that you shouldn't go around being like, "Oh yeah, I'm fasting for Lent. Look how holy I am." Right? You shouldn't do it with public prayer. Like in the Orthodox Church, there's a much more greater recognition that everyone's sort of, struggle with God or relationship with God is sort of different, and it's very impolite and just not the done thing to impose stuff on people. Like there's this great sermon that I listened to on, I think it was like around Easter, and the reading was basically like, look, if you came and you caught like the entire liturgy, that's great, right? If you came halfway through, that's still great. If you only just like turned up at the end and got communion, that's still awesome, right? It's got a very sort of different character, like to the sort of like the severe Catholic guilt. Kind of thing. Not to malign any of my Catholic bros.
No, but I've seen Catholic guilt fuck people up like my entire life, and like they would it made them an atheist.
Yeah, I can't like I've heard Catholics say, oh, we all killed Jesus. I presume this was like a Moosh import, right? That's not. I think that's bullshit. Like, personally, but again, I like the Catholics, and I don't wish to, look, as far as I'm concerned, anyone who goes to like the liturgy, like a proper liturgy is my brother, right? Like, even if there might be some, doctrinal disagreements, and I really don't want to start crap with other branches of the church that are still like the church, like the proper church. I think,
for what end?
Well, not only that, right? Like, it's just so easy for like other forces to come in and be like, oh, I think that 1,500 angels can dance on the head of a pin, and these people think that only 1,400 angels can dance on the head of a pin.
Can God make a burrito so hot he can't eat? Dude, Andrew Wilson was laying these out the other day, and it was killing me.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go on.
Could actually describe the Cretans collectively in these negative ways, and you would be generally right. And yet, one, because that's general, not universal, there will always be exceptions. And two, because of the power of the gospel, Christ actually changes hearts. I think that there will be some Cretans that will be fit to be ministers. And this is why I left you there, to put that. And I feel like we can do, and I can do that, honestly, I can do it with Europeans. And I wouldn't say historically, I wouldn't say King Alfred is what I'm about to, describe white people. But today, I would say, and I can say all people. And you have to understand the disclaimer. All people, a generalization. Of course, there are exceptions. But in a general sense, I would say all white people are suicidal, toxic empathy, and cowardly. And that's why the West is falling apart. And then I feel like I could also say all black people are impulsive, lazy. I could list some particular sense. And again,
I love the rhetorical decision here. Okay, now you have to start with white people to say something bad about white people, so then you can focus on who you want to focus on. But he has a universalism in what he's saying right now. I just love the way he chose to go about saying his opinion right now.
That's a pretty banger quote. Should we do some more super chats before we?
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's prime for clipping. Good point. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so Theodore McCarthy for $5. Thank you, mate. We had to invent racism in the 17th century because religious conversion proved inadequate to assimilate people who weren't of European descent. Ooh. That's a very interesting take. Yeah, I think there's something to this, actually, right? Because
there's a connection of race and religion that like what makes religion interesting for me to talk about is the race component of it, because these two things need to be rectified together in society.
Yeah, so you convert all these Africans, right? Like, no, but they're still Africans. Right? And you're like, you know, and you're like, yeah, we can't let these people like, you know, like, yeah, I think you're onto something there. Weenie for Sweeney. Can remember. Nice
Thank
one.
you. Very
Nice
nice.
one, thank you. New jam for $10. Genes will survive mixing with dominant genes as long as you don't continually add additional competing dominant genes. Basically, close the border and it will be fine. Right. So, in order to extinguish,
Yes, new GM claims that there is compelling research about what he's talking about. When I've talked to him about this privately, he has brought this up pretty consistently.
Right. So, in order to extinguish a people with highly recessive genes, you would need to continually keep refreshing that gene group with more and more. I mean, I couldn't. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, new GM.
Something to think about.
And Theodore McCarthy became a member. Welcome.
Hello, feller. All right, we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
In general, of course, there are exceptions. I'm not thinking of Thomas Sowell, you know, not thinking of Clarence Thomas. And I think I could also, to go one step further, say all Jews are subversive. And, you know, there would, of course, be some exceptions there as well. But the point is, I think the Bible actually has a category for that, all Cretans. So I'm not just being, and I can say those things and not say, and therefore I hate them, or I wish them harm, or I would mistreat them as a lower class of, you know, or deprive them of certain rights. But I can still prejudge. I know that among these people, because the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, there's, it's just, race is a tribe, it's an extended family. And I know that this family has these kinds of characteristics, both good and bad. Here are some of the bad ones in particular. And so if this is a black man who's a member of my church and a friend, I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm thinking about what I know at the individual level. Because
It was this exact same thing when I had my racial awakening, when I watched Shameless Spurg in like probably July of last year. I made a video about it. And Shameless Spurg will be like, yeah, individually, like, yeah, I'll like help a guy change his tire that's like a black guy. I'm not going to invite him home to like dinner and whatnot. But like, it's the left and the moos love to make it seem like it's all and it's totalizing. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
It's most, okay? But I understand that you're an individual. But I mean, there's an aggregate level of information that we're taking in. Yeah.
I mean, look, this is the parable of the Good Samaritan, right? Which the social justice types love to abuse. Okay. Dude's like walking down the road. He sees like a Samaritan. He's been like robbed. He's like, you know, like all messed up by the side of the road. Okay. And the Christian like sticks him on his donkey, takes him to an inn, gives the innkeeper like a couple of shekels or whatever, and says like, look, just like look after this guy, right? And doesn't leave him to like die on the side of the road. Okay. He doesn't take him back to his house. So you can stay there forever. You can like, you know, marry my daughters and bring your entire family over to displace me from my land. Right? Totally different thing. The parable of the Good Samaritan is just about like basic human decency, not about like letting people invade your lands.
Yeah, it's how you treat an acquaintance. And, you know, believe it or not, the moos and the left are really bad with boundaries. They really just don't seem to understand this. Here we go. Come on now.
Individually know him. But if it's a perfect stranger and I've never met before, then I'm thinking of, and I do this with white people. I meet a random white person and in 2025, and I'm thinking, this guy's probably a cuck. Like, it's probably cowardly. It's probably, you know, this, that, and the other. And I have a fairly high statistical chance of being right.
Right.
You know, so I don't think that that's mean. I don't think that's a sin.
No.
You know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that, you know, my favorite quote is from Sam Francis. I'm sure you heard me say this, but I think it was Pat Buchanan, actually. He said, race is not everything, but it isn't nothing.
Yeah.
And I think everyone recognizes that it's at somewhere in between, because it would be ridiculous to say that we can't make any generalizations, because you can make generalizations about anything. You can make generalizations about people from different generations, boomers, millennials, zoomers. You make generalizations about people that live in California. You can make, you know, and yes, that also applies to the races also as a distinct group. And we have layers of identity, you know, as Americans, as people of a certain.
Very important verbiage, as a distinct group, right? Because that's the moos. No matter what you're talking about, you can start with the moos as a distinct group and then say as a distinct group when it comes to races and different ethnicities.
But not only that, right? Like they wear their distinction like a badge
exactly.
and
That's why it's
shield.
really easy to call out.
Yeah, they love being a distinct people. It's central to their entire identity.
They really put the stink in distinct. Trust me. You've ever been down there?
Generation, people of a certain race, and of course there are certain attitudes that come with that, attitudes, behaviors, and at the same time, you'd recognize it would be ignorant to say that, like you said, applies universally to every single member.
Right.
And that is so vilified then. If you make any generalization, they're saying you're ignorantly applying that to everyone in all cases with no exceptions, and you're doing it in a hateful way, irrationally, because of some base xenophobia. Because
they say it's two things. One, you're dumb and ignorant, but also you're mean and malicious.
It's hateful and pointed. Right. Yeah. When it really isn't. I mean, on some level, we have to audit our society if we want to make things better for anyone. And every group has their strengths and weaknesses. Every group has their, things that's just how they do these things. Like you would say with white people, clearly white people have lots of problems. And you're able to say that very freely. What
right.
you just said.
Yeah, the first part was easy.
Yes.
The next part, even Nick Fuentes, I noticed you're like, what's he going to say?
And what's funny is because what you said will be clipped.
It will
Not the part where you said whites are cowardly.
Correct.
But the part where you said blacks are lazy.
That's right.
Why? We all know why. But it's true. You could say that whites have a lot of problems. Blacks obviously have a lot of problems. Jews have problems. Muslims have problems. But we exist also.
But not the same problems, which is kind of part of what I was getting at. It wasn't just all Cretans are bad.
Right.
But in these particular ways. And it helps to know.
Right.
It helps to know.
Well, because they're descriptive. They're qualitative. It's not a put down and saying you're bad, you're less than, you're inferior. Right. But it's saying that, and I like to use the word sin because I do think that they are kind of like concentrated sins.
They are. Particular sins that are sadly generally accurate in describing a particular people.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think it does us any good to ignore those things. But the reason it is the way it is, these like double standards, because that.
But like, okay, so I don't care about saying to a black person, you're one of the good ones. Okay. I don't care. I don't care because I've always been in a minority population. Like even me calling myself an atheist, right? I know what it's like to be a good representative of a horrific generality. So like I wouldn't feel bad saying to like a black person, like, oh yeah, like most of you people fucking suck, but like you're a good one. That's how people talk to me about being an atheist, right?
Yeah.
So I have no problem doing that. But like to get over that, there was this universalism in me where it's like, oh, well, that's not fair. Imagine how the black guy feels. Instead of imagining how I have felt for the past, 40 fucking years of this shit. And so it's pretty eye-opening in the last year coming to that realization of like, yeah, I mean, in general, it was deep-seated in me, in my liberalism, to be like, oh, but that's not fair. You ever feel like that, Fist? But you don't want to say to a black guy that like, most of you are retarded. Wouldn't that feel?
I mean, I say that to some of my friends. And they agree with me. I've got a friend who's from South Asia, like Bangladesh, and we're always slagging off the Bangladeshis together because he doesn't like them. Also, wait, before we go on,
sure,
I have been fact checked by the chat. Right, Newsfist BTFO'd. Thank you very much, chat. So in regarding to the Good Samaritan, right, it was the Samaritan walking along the road and he saw a Jew by the side of the road that had been beaten and the Samaritan helped him. It wasn't a Christian. Thank you very much, Arden. I very, very much appreciate that.
Best mob in the game, fight me.
Illustrate the principle of the golden rule. Thank you. Mate, I'm so glad our chat has like so much theological knowledge. Because
they're our own personal AI.
So I'm not a biblical scholar. And so when I start talking about this stuff, right, I very much appreciate the chat being like, well, actually, thanks, guys.
Fellas, let's talk about integration for a moment, all right?
Basically out of white guilt.
Mm-hmm.
We have come up with now this suicidal ideology where, and by the way, it's not even sufficient that we integrate the people that were forcibly brought here, which arguably might be some form of a reparation. I'm not making that argument, but some might argue, well, these people are brought here against their will. Now you have to integrate them. Okay.
Real quick, though, what you would say, what's the real reparation? You get to live in America.
Right.
God bless. Like, what a privilege. Privilege for me, privilege for you. Like, the richest black people.
And you get to have the government give you a shitload of money.
Right. Barring that.
You know, you get to, like, you know, run like BLM and, burn shit down and stuff.
I mean, would you rather be in the United States with a $1 bill or in Zimbabwe with a $1 billion bill?
Did you ever see any of the YouTube stuff from like the American blacks who go back to Africa, right? And they're like, we're going back to Africa, and they get there and all the locals fucking hate them.
Just like, you think white people hate black Americans? No one hates black Americans more than Africans.
Oh yeah.
Which is incredible.
Can you fucking imagine, man? Like Shaniqua like turns up because a bunch of them were going to Ghana for some reason. I think the Ghanaian government was trying to like basically suck them in because they like wanted their money, and they'd like rock up and be like, shit, like, welcome, my African brother. And all the Africans are like, what the fuck are you doing here?
I've been saying this to leftists and blacks for probably a decade now. I'm like, you don't even get along with each other. So what do you want us to do with you exactly?
Yeah.
You're like asking your opposition to coexist with you when you don't even like each other. You're genuinely unlikable people.
On God's green earth are African Americans.
Yeah. Would they rather live in Haiti, Africa?
Yeah,
I mean, take your pick.
Go ahead.
But yeah, no, arguably we would have to do that. But now what we're talking about is making America a majority non-white country. Who thinks that's a good idea?
Right.
Is there one person who thinks that America will get better? And for who? Certainly.
Now, when we say non-white, okay, I mean, there's a difference between Ubangi, Mombasa, tribal titties, bone to the nose, black bitch, and fucking white-skinned Latina, a fucking Cuban, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So this binary of white and non-white, I'm like, okay, there's relatives of white, okay, that I just want the perception of we are making someone more white than them making us less white. Because like we're the only fucking race that does that.
Are you saying it's really complicated?
It's actually really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all.
Keep it white and it's all right. Yeah, exactly. I'm complicating it. Talking about percentages over here.
No, I mean, look, this is a persistent thing. Even I don't know if you used to watch Murdoch, right? But there was like a running plot theme through that where the younger Murdoch wanted like a Harper cutie girlfriend, right? And there's this one episode where he goes to like a convention and he meets up with this cutie like Harper girl, and she's telling him like how much like she wants to preserve the white race because she thinks like whites are awesome.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so someone said, I don't care which race is more friendly, white erasure is wrong. What do we mean by white erasure? How white are you talking? And I feel like that mentality gets in the way of a more natalist position, because if we need to make more babies, if you're starving, how selective can you be over your food? Okay. And I'm just saying, can you think of it as making something more white instead of less white? It's just asymmetry we're imposing upon ourselves.
You're missing a fundamental point here, Artie,
sure.
Right? The reason why women in Western countries have less babies is because they spend all of their formative years in higher education and work, right? Like this has been extensively studied. It is feminism that causes the low birth rate fundamentally.
Excellent.
So
how do we feel about you importing a Thai bitch? We all know about this, right? You can just get a Thai wife, all right?
But if you do that, right, and you have like Harper daughters, and Harper daughters grow up in the West as currently constituted, they will have less babies, right? Because they'll spend their entire like formative years in high school and then university and no. And this is in my opinion, like this is the thing that no one really wants to confront, is that although from a liberal perspective, it is great that, we gave like women all of these rights. The reason why like it doesn't work is because it's collapsing the birth rate. And, you can be like, oh, but I don't want to be mean and I want to like respect everyone as a human being. And yeah. But if it collapses the birth rate, then it's not going to fucking work, right? You just, I hate to say this because like, I really like women. I don't want to be the, fucking barefoot get in the kitchen kind of thing. But if you're weighing the extinction of your people versus like, oh, we'll have to control our women a bit more and they'll be like salty at us, then you're going to have salty women, unfortunately.
Well, right. But I mean, I guess I'm just saying, the online rhetoric, okay, it's too white purity is all I'm saying, okay? And we do this to ourselves. Is what I'm saying. Where, yeah. But this is predicated on if somebody has a kid that they're going to be aware of what's in school. Like, you're predicating this on how like things are now with like a boomer having a kid, rather than somebody who would listen to our stream and watch other things with a distant right. And obviously, if they're having a kid, it's gonna be much more intentional than it would be just a regular person doing it.
I guess. I mean, I'm just pointing this out, that the more feminism you have, the more liberal the society, the lower the birth rate. Like this isn't even in dispute. So
right.
We've built this, beautiful like liberal society where everyone's an individual and everyone has like rights, and we're going extinct. So, look, the Muslims don't have this fucking problem, right?
Well, I know, but this is
problem.
why it's feminine. They're gatekeeping the pussy with ideology. And I've felt it myself. Any relationship I was in had to be 50-50. And I would say, this is going to go well if it's like me 80% of the time and you 20% of the time.
No. It's too, no, Artie, you don't understand. It's too late. The women that you are meeting have already been socialized.
Why do you think I'm abstinent for the past decade? Okay. I saw the pussy change.
This is my point. Drax says Muslim birth rate is actually crashing too. Well, maybe that's because of
crashing for them. You can only win so many championships consecutively. Okay.
The Muslims in the UK are doing fine. I don't know
right?
what to tell you.
And that's where it really counts.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
And too much with that, so it's qualitative and it's rough. But we could say that certainly we're not racial enough. Let's put it that way. Nobody would argue that we should be a completely racial society. Whites only. We only want, and everyone that isn't white, we don't like. I don't think anyone's saying that. Right. But people are saying the country's becoming not racial enough. And white people in particular do not have enough of an affinity or pride in themselves to even protect the identity of their nation. That's really the issue.
That's very well said. So let's spend maybe the second half of the episode, but one final big idea. So we've talked about race. But I'd be really curious, because I've heard some of those things from you before, and I pretty much agree with all of it. Like sometimes you're in the final segment of the show, it's the super chats. You're on your 7th hour and getting a little loosey goosey, and so you'll word it in ways that I wouldn't word it. But I think your position I agree with. But race aside, let's now talk about how do you? Because I don't hear you talk about this as much. How do you account for race? How do you account for why are there different? As a Christian, you believe the Bible. Right, but you're also like, you're not a Neanderthal.
Pivotal conversation for pagans, right? I mean, this is why when you don't have an answer for Christianity and then you talk to a pagan, you're like, okay, well, I mean, they're actually focused on race. So I feel like this is a very important distinction to make.
Interesting. I'm not sure I would know how to answer that question.
Right?
Obviously, honestly, I mean, damn. I don't know. I mean, the closest I would sort of come is the Tower of Babel story. In which case, like, I mean, that doesn't answer like, where did the different races come from? But it just does answer the question of, should they all be like mixed together in a big melting pot? The answer is clearly no.
Let us continue.
You believe the Bible. You also, have your sense perception and reason and science and those kinds of things. Like, so I'd just be curious. You're a bright guy. How do you account for race? The fact that we have different races, different strengths, different weaknesses. Some have fared better than others. How do you, in a way that holds the Bible, doesn't contradict it, but then also accounting for other things, how do you account for race?
Well, I think the origin of the races is that you go back to the original people that were created by God and descended from Adam, and they went out into the world. And I think they reflected different tribes, different descendants. And as far as Your relative position. Well, first I would say that I always go back to the Tower of Babel. When people talk about the universalism of Christianity, I go back.
Wow. Fist just has he's got the spirit. He's got the Holy Spirit imbued throughout his body.
To the idea that God wants actually for there to be nations. He created the nations.
Correct.
There was a point where we're all coming together and then the people were scattered.
It wasn't good.
Right.
Like I always tell people, it was a judgment. So there were two sins. It says, let's build, a tower that stretches to the heavens so that we can be as God and make a great name for ourselves. So one sin, arrogance, pride, trying to deify themselves, be as God. And so God judges. There's a judgment. Babel is a judgment for the sin of arrogance. However, that's not the only sin. It also says, they finish and say, lest we be scattered over the face of the earth. And I do think that actually represents the second sin. First sin, arrogance, tower that stretches to the heavens, make a name for ourselves, be as God. Second sin, not be scattered over the face of the earth. Well, the dominion mandate that was given to Adam in the garden was be fruitful and multiply and subdue the whole earth. Like the original plan was not just that there would be a lot of people, but that these people would ultimately spread out and fill up the whole earth. And so then the Tower of Babel, you literally have them saying the very thing that God commanded Adam to do, let's not do it. Let's build this tower and make this great name for ourselves so that we can congregate and stagnate and bottleneck and not fulfill the very thing that God commanded our ancestor Adam to do so that we would not be spread out over the earth. So I think two sins. One, arrogance, let's be like God. Two, let's not fulfill the dominion mandate and spread out. Because I actually think that without the Tower of Babel, God's providential plan likely would have resulted in different dialects, which would have evolved into different languages. And, some people would live in the mountains and some people in cold regions and hot regions and seafaring people. And over time, just the different distinctions of the geography itself in different places and different climates and being, separated from people, would have lent to it. It all would have snowballed into different languages, different cultures, different peoples, different people. So the nations were God's plan. And you literally have a group of people saying no. And so I think, when God confuses their languages, the way that I teach this, in our church and as a pastor is that you have a judgment for the sin of arrogance and the second sin that I think people miss, the sin of not wanting to be fruitful and multiply and spread out and fill the earth.
Can you pause this for a second?
Yeah.
You know what just occurred to me, like watching that, is that confusing of the language is a bit like what's happening to America and the West generally, right? Like, even though everyone, well, obviously not in London, right? But even though people speak the same language, they speak English, the language has fundamentally diverged. So they're confused. Like, people say the same words to each other, but they cannot be heard, if you know what I'm saying. And it makes me wonder.
There's a little bit of a serpent's tongue happening with the moos and the left, where they're saying the same. They know what you think they mean, but they're meaning something different. That level of subversion and deceit, where now they're creating a language with the same words, which try to explain that to a normie of how fucking duplicitous and nefarious that is. But then it involves you telling someone else what they mean by their words, which sounds like you're being manipulative because you're telling other people what they mean by their words. Which is why we show them real quick, which is why we try and show them saying it in their own words.
I think subversion really accelerates this process, because you start using sort of the subversion and altering of speech in order to gain power. And then your end point is that no one really knows what anything means anymore. And abstract concepts are already abstract. They're already hard. How do you define freedom, democracy, love, hate? These abstract terms, they're already abstract enough. And when you start altering it even more, it just becomes nonsense.
Well, Made by Jim Bob usually debates atheists with this, where you already believe in metaphysical concepts, right?
Yep, right. Yeah.
As a materialist, they try and deny them, and they always get then they start sparking out. But in group preference, let's go.
Being around people that are like us, we have to stop being shy about that. And by the way, every other non-white group feels exactly the same way.
Every group has an in-group preference, or is their own in-group preference, except for white people.
Right.
It's crazy. We're the only people who are our own out-group.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
And it's like, it's not even race. It's like ethnicity. Koreans want to be with Koreans. Chinese want to be with Chinese. Arabs want to be with Arabs. Whites, we're like, no, we don't even want a home to call our own. We want every country.
But do you notice how they have ethnicities and we just have race?
Yeah.
See that distinction right there?
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes difficult to talk about. And so that's why when someone says Mexican isn't a race, it's like, well, it really definitionally is. Their fucking skulls are different. That's a race of people. I mean, how long have the Mexicans been around for? You're going to call it what does it take to be a race in this fucking place?
I mean, I want to be around people who are like me. I guess I'm a racist now, like, because I want to be around like just something as simple as like games stores, that are like with role playing games and stuff, right? Like tabletop, games like Warhammer. That is a white thing, right? It's the whitest thing there is, and the less whites there are, the less of that kind of like stuff is around until and as the white population declines, you don't get just stuff like tabletop game stores.
There was a place down the not down the street, half an hour away from me called Night Moves, and if you can believe it, it was almost all white people that went there, and you could that's where I learned how to play Settlers of Catan, where they just had a ton, like I'm talking like over 100 board games, and then they would teach you how to play the game if you need them to teach you how to play the game. And it was $5 to bring your own beer inside. You can't do that in a non-white area, dude. It fucking ruled.
That is the power of whiteness.
Right?
Right. No, because, okay, right, like, if it's like white gamers, you can trust that they'll bring their own alcohol, right? And the likelihood of anyone getting like really, really drunk, like, and aggressive is relatively low. And if they do, someone can just, go up to them and be like, listen, hey man, like, don't be a dick, right? They're not going to like start a knife massacre or, some other like crazy fucking bullshit.
Well, why?
Right? Whereas,
how did knife massacre pop into your head?
Oh, I don't know, mate. Right. Like, just for no reason whatsoever. Right. Whereas like, if you get like some random black people, particularly in a group, you've got no idea, like the spread of possible outcomes immediately widens,
Right. I mean, with my discernment at this point, I know everything I'll ever have to know about 99.9% of black people. I'm like within 30 seconds, dude. Within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like there's some people where I'm like, I need to hear him speak. Most of them don't have to. Some I gotta hear him speak first. And as soon as I hear him speak, there's an inclination there. Okay, so let's dial this down. Read some super chats.
Okay, we got some super chats. Yeah, we got a few. Total Blackout Painting, TBP. Treat people as individuals and groups by their statistics. Yeah, that's,
pretty simple. It sounds like you're talking to a kindergartner, right? When you say these things out loud.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically functionally what I do.
This is what whites intuitively know.
Yeah, that's right. Dillweed for $5. Thank you very much. This seems like a dumb question, but every time I see it mentioned, it's always with pride and glory. So is America a motherland or a fatherland? I don't know, man. It's look, when a motherland and a fatherland love each other very much, they get together and they have a little baby land.
Well, I feel like it's a motherland because of how you treat your mother, like with reverence, precious, right? And then religion, the state is the motherland, and then the religion is the fatherland, if that would make sense, right?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The state is the mother because that's material. You treat that, as you would your own mother, and then the crushing hammer of God would be what guides your morality, right?
Yeah, right.
Not bad for an atheist, right?
Sorry?
So not bad for an atheist, right?
Oh, you're transforming.
Every
atheist.
time with you people. I'm not joining your cult. It only built the country.
You're such a fucking weirdo, mate. No, it's great, right? Like one of the things I like about you, mate, you're like a truly like weird individual. I really like bloody cupcake for $2. Only 100% Bavarian phenotype in my ethno state. Yeah. Oh, jawohl. Oh my God, we got Weenie for Sweeney. Wow. 5 memberships.
Wow. Looks like somebody might have checked out my conversation with the blacks from 2019 and wanted to spread the wealth. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe not.
Mate, just joins and spreading the love with everybody else. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Mr. Weenie, or do I call you Mr. Sweeney?
I know, but it's a picture of a woman. So I'm assuming it's a man, but it's a picture of a woman. It's very confusing.
And Death Takes gives another 5 memberships. My God.
Well, looks like somebody must have watched me brigading Isaiah's stream And I need you guys to understand this. We brigaded Isaiah's stream like a month or two ago. Meaning we filled up his chat with our people and they acted like they liked him. And then there was an end tower at the end. All right. It's the only time he actually received money. So this time he was warned, and this is recorded. He was warned ahead of time that we're going to brigade the stream. So you're thinking to yourself, Artie, what do you do? Right. Well, I think of what the Moose would do. Right. So I'm like, damn, how am I going to make the stream work? We're all excited to go in there and like infiltrate again. So I was like, okay, we'll get out in front of it. Fellas, I need a handful of you to go in and say, hey, rhetorically defective is sending his trolls here, so he's going to trust you guys. That worked perfectly, and then it happened exactly how it always happened. He didn't know who was who, and he still thought we were fucking liking him, dude. I get to be like an orchestrator of chaos. Like, I know how a move feels. When it's just for laughs, it's really fun. I mean, if I was trying to like warp and control society, that's not very fun. But in a controlled environment, it's really fun to manipulate people, okay? For the laughs.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, asking like what would the Moose do in this situation can be like quite clarifying, you know.
But it's a simulacrum when it's comedy. No one gets hurt if it's comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Phoenician for $10. Look at this massive Chad. Good to see you, Phoenician. I want to be around people like me. I want my kids to be around people like me. Is that so much to ask? Well, apparently,
it is fucking racist.
Goddamn racist.
Also, I'm gonna need the papers on your wife and how white she is before I decide how I feel about your relationship. See, that's why I love this villain arc. Okay, what is going on here? Are you playing the same thing again?
Man, look at him go. Mate, he came back for seconds. The buffet was just too good. Couldn't stay away.
My word. My absolute word. I don't have another joke lined up. Thank you, though. Really appreciate it.
And the Grey Slayer for $2. We need an angry drunk Artie stream. Yeah, we do. We do.
Really don't. Yeah. Easy for you. You don't have to live with what I say. Yeah, it's real easy and fun for you. I bet it's gonna be really easy for you to live with my decisions if that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you about my ex-girlfriend. She was a bitch, I told you.
No, dude. I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous when I'm drunk because it all comes out. And I stand by it. I just don't want to do it, man, because it's recorded. And there's people looking at me now. It was more fun to do when nobody was looking at me. Anyway, let's cap this off.
To go away. It's like, be careful what you wish for. I think we would all hate that. I don't like that at all.
Agreed. Okay. Very end. So I agree with everything you just said. I think it's well said. I think it's thoughtful. I think it's perfectly reasonable. There's nothing extreme about it. You know, leftists will say whatever they want to say. Well, let's be honest. Conservatives will say it too. But once upon a time, and not even that long ago, you know, in terms of your position, I think your position was mostly the same, but your rhetoric, like I mentioned earlier. So 2 questions. Why did you used to speak about race, you know, N-word, things like that, like the way that you did? And then also, second question, why'd you stop? Because it does seem like you've stopped, like you're pivoting a little bit, like you're the same guy. I'm not saying you've sold out or anything like that, but you know, you used to talk a certain way. And just for the record, I've told you this, you know, personally, but I wouldn't have done that, but I am sympathetic in the sense that you're a 17-year-old kid. Your life is blown up with less than 1,000 Twitter followers. Everybody hates you. You're single. You're not beholden to anybody, and so you lean in and play the heel. I can see that calculus. I feel it sometimes. One of the things that keeps me from doing it is I have a wife and 5 kids in a church. You know, but like if I was 17 and single, and
I mean, this is extra important for the atheist too, dude.
Yeah,
aging, going into middle age as an atheist with no wife and kids. Aging gracefully is very difficult. Okay. I'm going to be positioning my rhetoric around that more in the future.
I think that's really true. You just like atheism, it just doesn't offer anything. Like there's just, I think that's why so many atheists like have a sideline in like woo, if you know what I'm saying, right? You know, I'm atheist, but I'm spiritual, or, you know, like some shit like that, because I don't think that, I mean, you know, unless you're like some complete retard like Sam Harris or something like that, right? The nature of all is a vacuum, right? Like there has to be some kind of meaning, some kind of, I think I've said this before, that religion is sort of like a deep structure in the brain. And if you don't choose the religion that you're a part of, someone else will just choose it for you. You can't get around it.
I've been really liking Made by Jim Bob when he argues about evolution, right? because there's once you're at this stage where you realize you've been lied to, it's distressing to think about all the things you've been lied to about, right?
Oh yeah.
So then I'm like, evolution, just in my brain, it's a fact, right? I've been inculcated into this, and it's a fact. And listening to him debate people about evolution and watch their videos and talk about evolution, and I really jive with him, like being so pejorative to atheists. He goes, "Oh, it's just the ortho bros are really good at scorn and disdain once they're right." Like Andrew Wilson and made by Jim Bob. But yeah, like believing in nothing, and it's like so I don't know. So let me just dial it down here.
Okay.
So not fucking for 10 years and doing extreme fasts, a beast. There's a beast. Choose when it fucks and eats, or does it just hedonistically succumb to its impulses constantly? Okay. It makes you more of a human being to be in control of your dick and of your stomach. And I've experienced things internally doing the fast. I mean, just it's monk-like, like fasted, like so. Like I guess there's a reason why me as an atheist is able to come to a lot of similar conclusions. And fellas that believe in God, you can take the direct route and believe in God and just not make a ton of mistakes like me and have to trip and fall over all these conclusions just to have an audience that believes in God. Not worth it.
You're literally making the argument from Dune, Frank Herbert's.
I don't even understand what you're talking about. This happens to me all the time where someone's like, "Hey, like this is something that somebody else said." I've come to all of these conclusions myself, and it's bringing me to the same place that you guys are at, and that's incredible, I think.
So you remember did you ever see the movie?
No.
Well, okay. There's a scene where young Paul Atreides is thought to be the Kwisatz Haderach, the sort of the chosen one. Hilarious. And so the space moves come and test him, right? And he has to put his hand in a box, right? That will like stimulate his like neural sort of like his nerves, okay, and cause intense pain. And the Muish nun, right, holds against his neck like a poison needle, the Gom Jabbar, right? And she basically says like, this test will determine whether you are an animal or a human, right? And he's like, you dare to suggest that the prince's son is an animal? And she's like, let us just suggest that you may be a human, right? The animal instinct is to withdraw your hand from the box. If you do so, you die. And he passes the test. So like
an analogy.
Yeah, analogy. Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of really good shit in June. I would highly recommend it.
I know, but I'm just gonna keep rambling. This is what the Sundays are gonna be about, the Sunday lens streams, which I have no idea where they're gonna go. Fellas, I have been growing and developing for the past year on this channel hardcore. And that's why I show you stuff in the Hard R videos about what I was like in 2017. All right. We're always growing, we're always developing, but we're always mocking and bashing other people to make ourselves feel good. Okay. It just works that way. I don't know how it works, but it works that way. So let's dial it down here. We put in some work for the fellas,
We certainly did.
I'm just gonna keep rambling. This is how my solo streams ended. There's the last 20 minutes is me rambling and go, oh god, I've been rambling for 20 minutes, and that's dangerous. We don't want to be dangerous right now.
All right, so oh my god, Artie he just dropped out. Oh no, he's back.
Here. Yeah,
he just clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So thank you. Wait, hang on. We got final super chat. This is gonna be a thing where like people are dropping super chats to like keep the show going.
Yeah. Oh no, not that.
Oh no! don't throw me into Briar Patch. Theodore McCarthy for $5. An atheist is someone who rejects God. Someone who wants to believe but struggles with faith is a doubting Thomas. Which are you? Ooh.
Well, I mean, every atheist I know wants to believe in God. I have a good.
They don't. What are you talking about?
I know, like personally.
I mean,
that exist, but like the people that are yeah, that sounds way more preferable to believe in God than not believe in God. Which there's no utility in not believing God. It's a useless endeavor. What is it? What do you gain from that? It's not motivating. It's not enlightening. There's no mover in your actions. You have to create everything yourself. It makes everything harder. There's really no benefit to it except to be like, I don't know, explorative and hedonistic.
Goddamn white people and their excessive intellectualization. I swear to God. Right. Like, oh, but, you know, but like, oh, like, you know, what if, oh, do I believe, you know, like in my brain, like, mate, there's a whole other layer to this shit.
I know.
You know,
but at the end of the day, it's important for people. This is the most important question in a person's life, right? This is the age-old question, right? So it's important to hear the process, the doubts, and that, you know, no matter what I believe in, you know, judging a person by the fruits of their character and just having cohesion while we're here, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been slowly fasting and I'm already getting into this like stage of my brain. I said it before, dude. I start getting like really, I don't know. I gotta stop talking. I'm gonna keep rambling. Okay. All right. Okay.
Right. Okay, we out. Thank you so much for everyone who super chatted. Oh my God, who was it? To TK dropped like the insane number of super chats. Thank you, TK.
Absolutely.
Really appreciated. We'll get on to the. I guess we'll.
Fellas, I'm gonna send you to Cool Vic's stream. Let him know that Obama is gonna die a white man. If you would do me that favor, he's not gonna understand what you're saying, and then I'm gonna watch him not understand what you're saying, and then I'm gonna laugh, and that can only be done by the help of the fellows. So I really appreciate if you would do that.
And we'll be back on next Tuesday, and you can catch the next episode of History on Monday. The History of the Jews in England, Part 3. It's going to be a banger. See you later, everyone.
Do we have one more chat?
Oh, wait. Yes, we do.
They're
Holy
sneaky.
crap.
They're like cockroaches.
Wait, hang on.
They're crawling under the door.
Sneaking in, mate. TNR FNV for $5. Doubt is a valuable element in honest, rational inquiry. Yeah, that's a good point.
Absolutely.
That's a good point. Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm running away now. Caleb Knight, thanks for being a soft day fella. Have a good night. Obama's going to die white man. Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah!